Chapter 1. The Spaceship Crash. Warning, warning, the spaceship is about to crash. Should we activate the self-destruct system to prevent the loss of technological reserves? The cabin of the spaceship was flashing red lights rapidly, and the main control computer, Nova, echoed with a crisp voice throughout the ship, initiating self-destruct sequence. Wait, I've detected human life, haha. Cancel the self-destruct sequence and activate the seed plan. I want to preserve the last ember for the green planet and deal with those beasts. Haha, said a man with a scarred face, dressed in a sleek, high-tech spacesuit. Understood, Captain. Your command is my will, but your life may not be guaranteed, Nova replied. That's fine. Preserving the last ember is my ultimate wish. Farewell, Nova, the captain said. Goodbye, Captain. The seed plan has been initiated. Technological reserves are prioritized for preservation. Energy shield is adjusting its protective orientation. Salute to you. Boom, boom. The spaceship crashed into the ravines of the Lus Plateau. On October 1st, 2020, Dong Fong, carrying his travel backpack, embarked on his first solo trip at the beautiful age of 18. Dong Fong's home was in Huai City, Shaanxi Province. After the pandemic ended, he successfully enrolled in a university in XA City, XA Transportation University. He became the envy of the neighborhood, and his parents, thrilled, gave him 10,000 yuan to spend as he pleased. Now, he planned to venture deep into the mountains, away from the hustle and bustle, avoiding contact with others, protecting himself while caring for others. Mountain flowers bloom, red as bright as can be. As a person from the northern mountains, Dong Fong was quite familiar with folk songs, singing loudly as he walked on the sparsely populated mountain paths. Persistence is victory. Once I climb this slope, I'll take a break. Having set off at 10 a.m., Dong Fong had been walking for 6 hours, pushing his body to its limits. Although he had only covered 10 kilometers, the old saying a mountain can wear out a horse truly applied here. I made it, ha. Dong Fong shouted from the mountaintop, as if the fatigue of the day dissipated with his shout into the wind. Today's menu is instant noodles, or should I cook some noodles? Hee. With the sun setting, Dong Fong set up his tent, preparing for dinner and planning to share the beautiful scenery of the day on social media. Who isn't a social media expert these days? After receiving 32 likes and some reminders from his parents, Dong Fong quickly got up to gather some dry wood by the hillside for boiling water and cooking noodles. He picked up the entrenching tool he had specifically bought online and soon collected a bundle of firewood, digging a pit and building a stove. Clang. What's this hard thing? Did I dig into a rock? Look at my 10-meter shovel, just right for propping up the pot. Dong Fong weighed the entrenching tool in his hand and dug down hard. Since it was autumn, he needed to dig the stove pit deeper to prevent forest fires. Clang, clang. Hey, digging left and right isn't working. Are the rocks this big? With no other options, Dong Fong moved to another spot, and soon there was another clang, clang, clang. Changing again. Clang, clang, clang. There's 1 or 2, but not 3 or 4. I want to see what kind of rock this is. As Dong Fong began digging for the 3rd time, he cleared some loose soil and, catching the last rays of the setting sun, saw a glimmer of metallic silver. What is that? Am I seeing things? I'm only 18. Dong Fong was startled and encouraged himself. He took off his gloves and tossed out the dirt from the small pit he had just dug, looking closely. I wasn't mistaken, it's metal. The spot where the shovel hit the metal is as smooth as a mirror without a scratch. What is this? Even such a hard entrenching tool couldn't leave a mark. At that moment, the main control computer of the Starfish spaceship, which had been silent for 20 years, activated. Warning, warning, life detected, human. According to the established protocol, the seed plan is officially initiated, opening the cabin doors to accept the new captain. After 20 years of slumber, Nova's voice had become devoid of any human emotion. Whoosh. As Dong Fong touched the metal, it opened a small entrance. Wow. Startled, Dong Fong jumped out of the pit that a metal staircase extended from the shimmering blue metal opening. At the same time, some sounds echoed from the entrance, completely incomprehensible alien language. What the heck? What is this spaceship? A state secret? In a hurry, Dong Fong grabbed the entrenching tool, turned around, and ran. He certainly didn't want to be studied or locked up in a small dark room for life. They say a person's potential is limitless, especially when faced with danger, and going downhill was no exception. I can't take it anymore. I'm going to cough up my lungs. After running for about 2 kilometers, Dong Fong finally stopped. He was sweating profusely, panting heavily, one hand on his knee while still clutching the entrenching tool as a defensive weapon, looking back at the path he had come from. What's going on? Behind him was the silent mountain path, with only the rustling wind and his heavy breathing. How strange. The door opened and a ladder appeared, but why was there no one or any aliens coming out? Curiosity surged as fear faded away. Should I go back and take a look? As he spoke, Dongfang already stepped back, glancing over his shoulder repeatedly. But curiosity compelled him to return to the spot where he had planned to camp. No one was there. The entrance still emitted a bluish light, which looked quite nice, haha, and the staircase remained. Dongfang climbed up the staircase. The blue light flickered in the passage, as if leading to the Earth's core. Beep, beep, beep. The electronic sound gently echoed in the corridor. As Dongfang approached, metal alloy doors opened automatically, seemingly welcoming the arrival of their master. What on earth is this place? A young man around 17 or 18 had never witnessed such a scene. No wonder curiosity is said to be the driving force of human progress in this situation of total ignorance. Dongfang continued to tremble as he ventured deeper into the corridor. Finally, after walking about 200 meters, Dongfang reached a spacious hall. The hall was empty and extremely simple. 2 seats faced a glass-like structure, let's call it glass since he didn't know what it was. In front of the seats was a circular platform, and along the perimeter of the hall were 78 more seats. Each seat had a workstation in front of it, smooth like a mirror without a speck of dust. Sitting in one of the seats, Dongfang gently touched the smooth metal platform with his fingertip. Driven by human curiosity, he dared to touch it. Suddenly, a soft light illuminated from within the workstation, and a stream of characters cascaded down like a waterfall from above. Immediately, a screen appeared out of thin air, and the hall was filled with a gentle light from an unknown source. Not dazzling, but clear enough to see everything. The protagonist looked around, and all the workstations glowed with a soft reality screen, seemingly floating in the air. What the heck? He exclaimed, astonished. He felt as if he had won a jackpot of 100 million. No, even 1 billion couldn't contain his excitement. This was beyond the technological capabilities of Earth. It had to be extraterrestrial civilization. I'm going to make it big. I'm going to make it big. Ha ha ha. 10 minutes later, after a series of characters refreshed, various instrument interfaces quietly stopped before him. Although he didn't recognize a single character, he understood it was the control panel of the spacecraft. A soft female voice came through. What is this saying? I didn't understand a word, he murmured. The display flickered, and suddenly, after speaking in an incomprehensible language, the female voice switched to Mandarin. Nova has connected to the satellite. We are currently located on the Blue Planet. Currently, there are 5,651 identifiable languages on the Blue Planet. The highest authority on the spacecraft is you, from Shaanxi Province, China, and your native language is Mandarin. Therefore, all text on the ship will be changed to Chinese characters for your convenience. System update countdown 10.9.3.2.1.0, reloading and starting the main control system. See you soon, Captain. Meanwhile, a piercing alarm blared from the XA Satellite Remote Sensing Center. Yellow alert. Asia Pacific number 10 communication satellite. Abnormal data flow. Massive data is leaking. The firewall cannot block it. Currently undergoing manual intervention. Cannot be controlled. Damn. Data flow stopped. Unable to monitor. Only certain that the data download location is in the mountains north of the city. Notify the local National Security Department to rush to the vicinity of coordinates XXX for confirmation. The main system is loaded. Captain, Nova will continue to serve you. What the heck? Nova, he muttered to himself. Hello, Captain, at your service. Warning. Locked. Initiating emergency response. Disconnecting network. Closing cabin doors. Dispatching engineering robots. Concealing the spacecraft. The voice, calling itself Nova, reported in a gentle then urgent tone. Received. Heading to the task location. Maintaining contact. 2 national security vehicles sped away on the highway, rushing to the protagonist's location. Chapter 2 report. No anomalies. 2 black specialized vehicles stopped 5 kilometers east, and all team members quickly disembarked. They disappeared into the mountains to the north, moving like fish into the sea, following tactical formations. Faster. We are already 2 hours behind schedule, and the mission location may change at any moment. Team leader Liu Yiming shouted over the internal communication. We must reach the mission site in half an hour. 25 minutes later, 2 tactical teams of 5 reached the mountain summit via a path climbing eastward. Conduct a thorough search within a 20-meter radius of the target area. Do not overlook any suspicious targets, Liu Yiming decisively commanded. Report. No anomalies. No anomalies. The team members reported their search results in succession. What is going on? There are no anomalies at the location, and there are no signs of human activity, Liu Yiming remarked in confusion. Expand the search area. We must find something, even if it means turning over every stone. Report. No anomalies. No anomalies. 2 hours passed, and Liu Yiming's team meticulously searched a 3-kilometer radius from the mountaintop, but found nothing. Report. The first emergency team conducted a comprehensive search of the target area but found no anomalies. Requesting to return to base, Lu Yiming picked up a secure phone to report the search results to higher authorities. Acknowledged, you may return to base, came the command over the phone. And Lu Yiming sighed in relief. Today's events feel strange, but the data signals detected by the capital must be accurate. Yet, we found nothing. Let us return and write a detailed investigation report. Dongfang sat dumbfounded in his seat, watching Lu Yiming search the area around the mountaintop repeatedly. Not only was the pit Dongfang had just dug gone, but even the tent and equipment left on the summit had vanished, leading to no results from the search. Why is this happening? Dongfang muttered to himself. Captain, I dispatched maintenance robots, and the relevant equipment has been recovered. All traces have been restored to their original state. After comprehensive analysis, with the current technology level of Blue Star, no anomalies can be detected. Ah, you're intelligent? Dongfang exclaimed in surprise. Yes, sir, I am Nova, the main brain of the interstellar starship of the Earth Ring Star Fire Project No. 3. Although I cannot think like a human, my main brain far exceeds the combined computing power of all supercomputers currently on Blue Star. At present, quantum technology on Blue Star has just begun, compared to us. It's like an unborn baby. Moreover, we have made greater advancements in quantum computing, graphene, biotechnology, and various other fields. For example, in terms of storage technology, my main brain can easily store all recorded information of Blue Star while occupying less than 1 unit of space. As a starship of the Starfire project, I also store all data of Earth Ring, including interstellar, technology, culture, music, and more. Therefore, I will be your most powerful intelligent assistant. I look forward to your restoration of the glory of Earth Ring. A pleasant female voice echoed in the hall. Am I going to be successful? I will become the greatest scientist of Blue Star and the navigator of interstellar civilization. Dongfang laughed heartily, continuously patting the armrests of the seat. You also carry the mission of restoring the Earth-like planet. Our home has been invaded, and humanity has been brutally killed. The planet is in ruins. I plead for help for the poor inhabitants of the Earth-like planet. Nova's somewhat desolate voice echoed. Dongfang's laughter abruptly stopped. Who am I? I have just come of age. Can I really bear such a heavy responsibility? I only seek financial freedom. He hesitated. You can do it. The starship is equipped with virtual reality technology. You can learn anytime and anywhere. And there are also the safest and most reliable gene injectors. You will become the smartest and strongest human on this planet, Nova replied. Well, I am just a small student. Is there really such a distant future? As you continue to learn and grow stronger, that day will come. And I believe it will be soon. However, for your healthy development, the Spark program will be temporarily suspended, considering the current situation. I will redesign the growth plan and formally launch it upon completion. Is it starting now? I'm not ready yet. What should I do? A strong body requires ample rest. It is now 2100 Blue Star time, and you have been awake for over 16 hours. Please go to the dining hall to intake sufficient nutrition and then head to the living pod to rest. Please follow the directional signs. As soon as the words fell, arrows lit up on the floor, leading to the hall entrance. Rising and stepping forward, the signs lit up one by one, then extinguished behind him. In Dongfang's words, the sense of technology was explosive. After a simple meal, Dongfang followed the directional signs and quickly entered a warmly toned room. Lying down on a bed made of an unknown material, he covered himself with a blanket as thin as a cicada's wing. Warmth and drowsiness washed over him, and Dongfang fell into a deep sleep. The captain has entered sleep mode, injecting deep sleep aid, preparing to implant the biological chip and administer grade 0 biological agents. The cabin door opened silently, and a bionic robot glided in. Its mechanical arm extended, flipping Dongfang's body over. The mechanical arm approached his head, and 2 minutes later it retracted. The biological chip was perfectly implanted, and the grade 0 gene agent was being prepared. Countdown 321, gene chain unlocking agent injection completed. Retreating and turning, the bionic robot vanished from the living pod, and the cabin door closed automatically. So comfortable, Dongfang murmured. Sweet dreams. At 6 a.m., Dongfang opened his eyes. That sleep was truly refreshing. It felt like taking a comfortable hot bath, washing away all fatigue, filled with limitless energy. But why does my body feel sticky? He raised his hand and smelled it. It was quite foul. I need to take a shower. Standing in front of the bathroom mirror, Dongfang was astonished again. His previously uneven skin had become as delicate and smooth as a peeled egg. His eyes were as bright and deep as a newborn's, sparkling with radiance. Even his height had increased significantly. His pants and shirt were now shorter, and he exuded a particularly attractive aura. It has transformed into something that you can't help but stare at when you encounter it on the street. Have I drunk from the fountain of youth and opened my meridians? Ah, you have completed the injection of the level 0 gene serum, and the gene locks are gradually unlocking. Your physical fitness and brain development are continuously improving until the gene chain is completely opened. Nova's voice echoed in the mind of the individual from the east, and a screen lit up in their eyes, displaying the image of a woman, identical to the one Nova showed on the holographic screen in the hall. What is going on? Why can you appear directly in my sight? You startled me. This is the function of the biological chip implanted for you yesterday. It has many more functions for you to discover. It is more advanced than all computers currently on Blue Planet, with greater computing power, and it allows you to contact me from any corner of Blue Planet. How do I operate this? You can control it by voice. If voice control is inconvenient, you can also use thought control. You heard me right. Just think about it. And it will work. The individual from the east was like a child who had received a toy, alternating between voice commands and standing there in a daze. It wasn't until an hour had passed that they reluctantly stopped. This is completely different from all the computers the individual had used in the past 18 years. The response speed was astonishingly fast and incredibly smooth. Moreover, the individual also noticed that their thinking was more agile. Their previously slightly nearsighted vision was not only restored to perfection, but also enhanced, even better than a pilot's vision. I really like this state. It feels perfect. As if my body has been reset to factory settings. Haha, your needs are my goals, as long as you like it. You've already wasted a lot of time. You can head to the dining area for a meal and start your day of learning. Alright, I can't wait to see if the challenges I usually face will become easier in this state. After finishing the meal, the individual from the east followed the directions and arrived at a small room, where 2 capsules were placed, flickering with light. Please lie down inside, relax. And we will begin today's learning. The individual from the east carefully lay down, finding a comfortable position, and the cabin door slowly closed. Then, a half-enclosing helmet rose to secure their head. Subsequently, all light sources turned off, and the individual involuntarily closed their eyes. Suddenly, there was a bright light again. And when the individual opened their eyes, they found themselves in a spacious and bright room, with sunlight shining through the glass onto the mirror-like floor. This is amazing. A handsome middle-aged man walked in. He had shoulder-length golden hair and a determined gaze, though it also carried a hint of melancholy. Hello, individual from the east. I am your teacher for the time being and the former captain, Arthur. This is my image preserved in the virtual reality network system. My thoughts have been replicated, and my knowledge has been retained. Let us get to know each other slowly during our learning process. Alright, teacher Arthur, what are we going to study? Let me take a look at your class schedule. In the morning, mathematics, geoscience, English, physics, material science, quantum computing applications, and principles of mechanical structure. In the afternoon, electricity, biology, chemistry, design, drafting, and so on. There are 59 design courses covering over 20 categories, including biology, chemistry, physics, mathematics, geoscience, art and design, computer technology, mechanical technology, aircraft technology, and combat, both hot and cold weapons. Once your knowledge level meets the requirements, we will initiate the next phase of the learning plan. You think I'm superhuman? With so many subjects, can I really keep up? I'm human, not a deity. You underestimate yourself. After injecting the gene unlocking serum, your brain will be fully developed, and having an excellent memory will just be the basics. Moreover, in the virtual reality system, time does not equate to real-world time. We can stretch time as much as our thinking speed allows. Alright, enough chit-chat. Let us get started. The first class is Mathematics, Chapter 3, Transformation, Young 1. Okay, let's pause the morning classes here. Please summarize your learning. Teacher Arthur, I've never felt that learning could be so simple. I truly have developed an excellent memory. And through your explanations, my mathematics skills have greatly improved. I've completed all of the advanced mathematics for my first semester and can apply it proficiently. For geoscience, I've just started mastering 500 characters for basic communication. In English, due to my previous foundation, reading, writing, and conversation are now no problem. As long as I interact more with native speakers, I believe English will become as familiar to me as my native language. As for the principles of quantum computing, I've just begun, as this subject is far beyond my current understanding, with only 76 photons and 100 modes currently available. Very good. You can identify your shortcomings and improve quickly. However, there is still a lot of room for growth. You must remain humble and continue to improve. Also, please note down the knowledge points you haven't fully mastered. We will set aside some time in the afternoon for focused QA. You can take a break and have a meal. Alright, Teacher Arthur. Suddenly, darkness enveloped the eastern view. When he opened his eyes again, the hatch of the space capsule was slowly opening, feeling like it had been a long time. But when he checked his watch, it was only 11:30. Is this what it means for thoughts to be quick while time feels slow? Okay, I should go eat. Nova appeared in view. Yes, sir. What would you like for lunch? We support ordering, and it's completely free, it said playfully. You really are intelligent and even joke around. For lunch, I'd like to have boiled meat, he said while walking towards the dining area. Again, pay attention to my pace and my body language. There will inevitably be changes in my body when I attack. Discover it, master it, and calmly respond after thoughtful consideration. Combat is also a battle of thought. Arthur said solemnly. Ouch, that hurts. Teacher, your speed is too fast. I can't keep up. One can see and think about it, but the body simply cannot respond in time. After lying on the ground and saying that, Dongfang got up and charged at Arthur with a punch. Bang. Come on. I can't believe it. You can't even touch me. Bang, 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 crash. Another figure flew out and fell to the ground. There is a martial arts master on Blue Star who said to approach the impossible as if it were possible, and to understand the infinite as if it were finite. Today's combat training ends here. I'll give you some homework. Are you still an alien, and you even know about homework? Just kill me already. I'm done with this. Enough with the nonsense. After class, practice the physical exercises and combat drills you taught me, twice each morning and evening. If you can complete it in 5 minutes, then increase it to 3 times. Repeat this until the dual exercises can no longer improve your physical abilities. Then we will proceed to the next stage of training. Of course, daily beatings are essential. Arthur's face darkened as he said fiercely, got it. From then on, Dongfang's daily training became a part of his life. Huff, huff, huff. After finishing the homework, Dongfang stood in the activity chamber. He performed various unbelievable movements. His body cracked and popped, and his mouth cried out in pain. But he kept going, strictly following the exercise manual. On the morning of October 7th, 2020, Dongfang completed his morning dual exercise training, quickly finished washing up and eating, and was preparing to head to the space capsule for study. Suddenly, Nova appeared before him. Respected Captain, today is the last day of your National Day holiday. I have booked a high-speed train for you to XA City at 11 o'clock. Please head to the equipment chamber to gather the necessary gear, so that you can continue your study plan upon returning to school. Nova, time flies so fast. Has the 6 days already come to an end? I feel like I just got into the swing of things, and I'm feeling incredibly fulfilled, rapidly transforming. I really hope time could slow down a bit. Captain, the starship's energy is nearly depleted and has dropped to a warning level. The starship needs to enter hibernation mode. I will dispatch an engineering robot to collect energy for the starship to adjust its position. Once the energy is restored to 30, the starship will head to the oceans of Blue Star, where there are endless resources that humans cannot access, ensuring safety while not delaying the starship's repairs. This is the urgent issue we need to address. Understood, let's set off. Dongfang followed the instructions and walked towards the depths of the starship, which housed a highly automated equipment storage room. Upon entering, his eyes widened at the array of equipment. High-tech gear, metal plates like notebooks, metal spheres, and metal skateboards without wheels, various daggers, knives, swords, and backpacks, along with firearms. There were even several mechs of different heights parked on specially designed racks, their helmets and armor reflecting light. Dongfang's eyes lit up. Can I take this rifle, pistol, and mech with me? That might not be possible, Nova replied. Blue Star's regulations strictly control firearms. I'm afraid you can't take any cold or hot weapons with you. As I picked up a firearm that resembled a rifle from a certain planet, I turned around and said, well, I know without you telling me. I was just indulging in a whim. After saying that, I lowered my head to examine the gun closely. This silver rifle seemed to be forged in one piece, without any seams or screws, and its body was smooth, showcasing a very high level of manufacturing. The material was special. It was metallic but didn't have a cold touch, neither hot nor cold, seemingly maintaining a constant temperature. With a clap, I raised the rifle butt to my shoulder, closed my left eye, and slightly squinted my right eye. Sir, you seem like a child. Once the starship's energy is replenished, you can use these weapons freely. Haha. Nova, you don't understand. Firearms are a common passion for every boy. Can mechas be piloted too? I stood in front of a mech that was about my height, gently stroking it while turning back to ask, Sir, you've only completed the first gene lock unlocking. Your neural response speed and brain development level aren't sufficient to pilot a mech. It would be too much of a burden for you right now. Time is running short. You need to gear up and depart from the starship. Reluctantly, I let go of the mech I was touching and walked to a long table. Is this all? They seem no different from the gear I brought. Take another look, Nova said, and the table lit up, displaying lines of text next to each piece of equipment, introducing their functions. Laptop. Its appearance is no different from a regular practical computer, and even the operating system has undergone comprehensive camouflage. However, it is a quantum computer, with processing speeds surpassing all supercomputers from a certain planet, 1,000,000 trillion times the power of another advanced system, with a storage capacity of 1 billion terabytes. Sufficient for the captain's daily use. Backpack. Made primarily from a new type of graphene material, it is fireproof, waterproof, and explosion-proof, with a built-in safety protection system. It can interfere with cameras, mobile phone positioning, satellite positioning, and other devices without affecting their normal use. Just gently touch the red mark position on the backpack strap, and the protection system will activate immediately. In the eyes of surveillance, you become invisible. Additionally, The backpack has a built-in solid-state battery that can create a perfect energy shield against a large-caliber sniper rifle shot. Once the power is depleted, it can be recharged via solar energy. Clothing, including underwear and socks, it is identical to what I was wearing. Made from biomimetic materials similar to the shell of a certain biological creature. It behaves like a non-Newtonian fluid, strong when under pressure and soft when at ease. It is not only soft and breathable, but also fireproof, explosion-proof, pressure-resistant, and impact-resistant. Designed according to my physique and the aesthetic standards of a certain planet. It includes seasonal outfits that can be used once the energy is replenished on the starship. Mobile communication devices. The inhabitants of the blue planet refer to them as mobile phones, with the same appearance as the original, branded as a certain fruit, and equipped with a built-in quantum microchip, Quantum Light No. 1. Its performance is 30 times that of an ordinary quantum computer compared to the previous laptop, and it can use all apps from the Android and iOS systems available on the blue planet. Additionally, it has location shielding and a virtual number, which is the same as the original phone number. Tablet, wearable wristwatch, certain brand shovels, no modification value, still as original. The Eastern individual packed each piece of equipment into a hiking bag and a backpack, counting a total of 72 items, indeed quite a lot. Both bags were stuffed full, weighing up to 30 kilograms, but in the current perspective of the East, this was really just a trifle. After changing clothes and shouldering the backpack, the Eastern individual stepped out of the starship where they had stayed for 7 days. Goodbye, Nova. Goodbye, respected Captain Mr. Dongfang. Looking forward to seeing you next time. Turning and waving behind, the Eastern individual strode down the mountain, just in time to catch the 8 o'clock train in the morning. Chapter 4. Special Medicine. Half an hour later, please proceed for inspection at the exit of the mountain. Dongfang encountered a temporary inspection station set up at the mountain exit. This time, it was intentional, and nothing was found. How could our powerful homeland give up? However, I was well prepared and would surely pass through smoothly. Dongfang murmured quietly while following the police officer to the nearby temporary tent. Upon entering the tent, Dongfang met a familiar face, Team Leader Lu. Lu Yiming. Indeed, it was Lu Yiming. After the fruitless search report was completed, Lu Yiming always felt something was off, yet unable to pinpoint it. He proactively requested to set up a temporary inspection station during the National Day holiday to guard the only passage, hoping for some results. Name, age, occupation, and purpose of visit? Please state briefly and show your ID. Dongfang, 18 years old, a freshman in the electrical engineering department at XA City Transportation University. Isn't it National Day? I wanted to experience the lifestyle of a traveler, so I came back to my hometown for some free travel. Dongfang said somewhat nervously, just like an ordinary person being questioned by law enforcement. Oh, not bad, still a high-achieving student. Did you encounter anything special during your travels? Team Leader Lu asked with a smile. Special? What do you mean? I haven't met many people in the mountains these days, so there is nothing particularly special. Dongfang looked surprised. Oh, that's good. So you're heading back to school soon? Yes, I have a train at 11. All right then, please keep your ID, you may leave. Lu Yiming thought Dongfang was just a freshman student and didn't pay much attention. After a moment, he handed back the ID and said, okay, you can leave now. Good. So can I go? You may leave. Pretending to struggle with the checked backpack, Dongfang hurriedly set off. Time was tight. It was already 9 o'clock. I wonder if I can catch the train. I need to hurry. Just before departure, Dongfang boarded the train, comfortably seated. Taking out the phone that hadn't been touched for many days, he powered it on, and messages flooded in like a tide. Finally stopping at the message sent by Mom at 8 o'clock this morning. Air, where are you? Your phone is off, and you haven't replied to my messages. I'm really worried about you. Dad and I are at the hospital. On the 2nd, Dad felt unwell, and we went for a checkup, discovering that he has advanced liver cancer. We're at the hospital now, and the doctor wants Dad to undergo surgery immediately. I don't know what to do. I'm so worried about you and also about Dad. Please reply to me as soon as you see this message. What? With Dad's condition? Given the current medical level here, it's a life or death situation. Dongfang furrowed his brows tightly, his eyes reddening. What should he do? As the man of the family, he couldn't break down. He dialed Mom's number, and just as Dongfang thought she wouldn't pick up, she answered. Hello, Fanger, where have you been these days? We couldn't reach you at all. Your dad, she sobbed, avoiding his call. Mom, don't worry too much. Medical technology is so advanced now. Dad will be fine. We need to trust the doctors. Don't be anxious. I'm already on the train home. I'll get to the hospital this afternoon. Don't cry. It'll only worry Dad more. Besides, if the local hospital isn't good enough, we can go to the capital or to the big city to find the best hospital and doctors. Just wait for me. After hanging up, Dongfang fell silent for a while, but then he suddenly thought, I have Nova and the Starship. Their technology is so advanced. Maybe cancer is as common as a cold there. With that thought, Dongfang called out in his mind, Nova, can you receive my message? Sir, the train you are on is currently passing through a tunnel. There is strong signal interference here, and I can only communicate with you through text messages. What are your instructions? A line of text appeared in Dongfang's mind. My father has cancer. Can the medical facilities on the planet help him? Dongfang asked anxiously. Currently, the Starship has not obtained reliable sample data, so I cannot provide you with a definite answer. However, there is no need to worry. Once you obtain a blood sample from your father, we can analyze the relevant data at the earliest opportunity. I have also reviewed information about cancer on the internet, and I believe treating your father's illness is not a difficult problem. Then, Captain, I will dispatch biomechanical robot number 3, Earthlight K9, to stand by your side. Once you obtain the sample, please provide it to me promptly for analysis. Okay, I will obtain the sample as soon as possible. Dongfang's anxious mood eased somewhat as he closed the display of the biological computer and let out a long breath. After all, an 18-year-old boy facing such a big issue would feel lost. The waiting time was always long, and finally, the train announced its arrival at the station. Dongfang was the first to grab his backpack and get off, taking the subway and then the bus. Panting, he stood at the foot of the hospital building, went upstairs, and gently pushed open the door of the ward. Tears finally fell as Dongfang couldn't hold them back any longer. The father's face was waxy and his eyes were tightly closed, with an 4 drip still attached to his hand. The mother, looking haggard and with unkempt hair, sat beside him, which was unlike her usual self. Mom, how is Dad? Dongfang asked softly from behind her, afraid to wake his sleeping father. Fanger, you're here. Have you eaten? Your dad just finished surgery and is too exhausted to stay awake. The doctor said the operation was very successful, so you don't need to worry too much. Dongfang felt relieved that his father was okay. He set his backpack down and sat beside his mother. Finally, as the sun was about to set, the liquid in the 4 bag ran out. When the nurse was removing the needle, Dongfang's father opened his eyes. Fanger, you're here, he said weakly, unable to support more words, but he smiled gently, just like usual, and gave his son a reassuring look. Don't worry. Dongfang's eyes turned red, but he did not forget his task. He discreetly took a cotton swab with his father's blood from the tray the nurse was holding and placed it into a plastic bag he had prepared earlier. Dad, the surgery is done, so don't worry. I'll take care of you with Mom, he said, then turned to his mother. Mom, I'll go buy some food. Please wait here with Dad. He wanted to deliver the sample to Nova as soon as possible. After saying that, he turned and left the ward, entering the garden downstairs. Dongfang called out for Nova again. Nova. This time, Nova's holographic image appeared in Dongfang's mind. Sir, I'm here. Have you obtained the sample? Yes. But it's blood on a cotton swab. Can it be used? Of course, no problem. The bionic robot is right beneath you. Please place the sample into its back opening. I will contact you again in 1 hour. Dongfang acted nonchalantly, bought noodles and porridge that his mother liked, and returned to the ward to wait. His father barely managed to drink some porridge. It had been several hours, and he was able to consume liquid food. He then fell into a deep sleep again. The mother and son quietly exchanged encouraging words to make the time pass more quickly. An hour passed, and whether it felt quick or slow, Nova appeared in Dongfang's mind once again. Sir, good news. The sample analysis is complete. Your father's illness primarily stems from genetic mutations in certain cells. The genes that should self-destruct are no longer expressed, leading to unrestricted replication and proliferation of the cells, which results in the invasive growth of tissue affecting healthy organs. However, for the planet you are on, this is just a minor ailment. A new bionic robot, number 3, has been dispatched, which is the little dog you just saw. It carries a capsule containing the latest special medicine from your planet. Its principle is simple. A large number of ultra-microscopic biological robots that carry medication will directly target the lesions. After completely eliminating the cancer cells, they will dissolve on their own, posing no burden to the human body. The downside is that it requires a significant amount of biological energy. This means you need to prepare a lot of carbohydrates, proteins, sugars, and other high-energy foods to support the normal functioning of the biological robots. That's all for my report. Thank you, Nova. A hint of blush appeared on Dongfang's face as he excitedly said, This is what I should do. I am your all-purpose assistant. I wish your father a speedy recovery, even though, in my view, it's a foregone conclusion. Then goodbye, sir. I could feel your eager smile. Haha, I didn't expect you to be so intelligent. Dongfang set aside his worries and returned to his youthful, carefree nature. In just 20 minutes, the small dog reappeared at Dongfang's feet. This time, Dongfang noticed that it suddenly materialized in front of him, transforming from a blurry image into a clear sight of the dog. The advancement of technology has reached a level akin to the magic in the myths of the Blue Star people. No wonder it can easily cure cancers that leave all Blue Star people at a loss. This is the power of technology and the charm it holds. The dog's body silently parted, revealing a small metal platform. A glass vial was resting on the mechanical clamp, waiting to be released. Dongfang grabbed it tightly in his palm. This was his father's life, and there could be no mistakes. He suddenly turned and ran up the stairs to the hospital ward. Dad, Mom, I have good news. I talked to my senior from the medical school about Dad's condition. He gave me a special medicine that can completely cure Dad's illness. Dongfang lowered his voice, fearing that others might overhear. After all, in this day and age, saying that a single pill could cure cancer might make others think you're delusional. Fonger, where is there any special medicine? Is it possible for such a disease to have a miracle cure? You weren't tricked by your classmates, were you? His mother asked doubtfully. Of course not. My senior is an outstanding student at the medical school. His professor started a new research project a year ago on the application of microrobots in cancer treatment. There are similar reports on social media, right? Although there haven't been clinical trials yet, all animal tests have been completed, and the reported effectiveness is over 99. How could it be fake? Don't worry, besides. One pill won't cause any harm, right? Let us give it a try. No way. We should wait for the doctor to come and ask for his opinion. This is a huge matter. How can we listen to a little kid like Dongfang? His mother disagreed. Let me try? After all, it's already like this. What if it works? A gentle male voice sounded. It turned out Dongfang's father had woken up and heard their conversation. Yeah, Mom, just trust me this time. How could I joke about Dad's health? Then let us give it a try? Just as his mother's voice fell, Dongfang swiftly poured water, opened the vial, and brought the capsule to his father's lips. Watching his father struggle a bit to swallow the capsule, Dongfang felt a huge weight lift from his heart. Oh, Dad is a bit tired, he mumbled. I'll sleep for a while. Chapter 5. Miracle. Seeing his father's brow relax as he fell asleep, Dongfang waved his hand energetically to express his excitement. Mom, I'm going out to buy some food, just in case Dad wakes up and wants to eat. My senior said this medicine can make him hungry. Go ahead, I'm here, his mother whispered. It was already 10 p.m., and the only places still open at this hour seemed to be the big burger joint near the hospital and the barbecue stalls. Thinking that his father didn't like fast food, Dongfang headed towards the noodle shop. I'll have 5 meat sandwiches, 5 meat buns, and 2 bowls of pumpkin porridge. All right. Is there anything else you need? Dongfang thought for a moment. Although his dad wasn't fond of burgers, they were high in calories and energy, which was essential for a biological robot. Let's add 5 burgers, 5 chicken legs, and 2 cups of milk tea. Okay, the total is 210 yuan. Please wait a moment. When Dongfang returned to the ward with a large bag of food, his mother's eyes nearly popped out. Can a patient eat this much? Just as she was about to reprimand her wasteful son, a voice came from the hospital bed. It smells so good. What delicious food did Dongfang buy? Let me have some. It truly was a miracle drug. He quickly regained some energy, and his complexion no longer looked so sickly. More importantly, his appetite had returned, indicating that the biological robot was starting to function normally. Dongfang immediately opened the food packaging and held it to his father's mouth, watching him devour the meat sandwiches. Dongfang couldn't help but smile. His father's appetite was not at all like that of a patient. He finished 3 meat sandwiches, 3 burgers, and 2 cups of milk tea. Dongfang and his mother also ate quite a bit, and the food they brought back was completely wiped clean. When people are in a good mood, time flies. Before they knew it, 14 days had passed. Dongfang attended classes during the day and took care of his father at the hospital at night, relieving his tired mother. Finally, the time for discharge arrived. The patient, who had originally looked pale and close to death, was now sitting up straight with a rosy complexion. He hardly resembled someone recovering from liver surgery, and both the nurses and fellow patients expressed their astonishment. Is that you, Dongyan? The attending physician asked in the doctor's office. Yes, it's me, answered Dongfang's father. Your recovery looks good. The surgical treatment is now complete. You need to complete the discharge procedures today and return to the gastroenterology department to determine the next treatment plan, all right? Okay, thank you, Dr. Wang. We are just about to complete the discharge procedures, his father said gratefully. Is this your test result? Are you sure you didn't mix it up? In the bright consultation room, Professor Gao from the gastroenterology department repeatedly asked while taking off his glasses. Yes, Professor, unless someone else is called Dongyan. No, I need to call the lab to confirm, Professor Gao said, picking up the phone. The lab technician was very certain that the test results were accurate. If the tests were done by the person themselves, the results would definitely be correct. After pondering for a while, Professor Gao said, from the test results, you are currently very normal, and all your indicators are perfectly fine. Moreover, the CT scan shows that all tumors have completely disappeared, leaving only post-operative scars. This is simply a miracle, beyond my imagination. I'm unable to determine the next treatment plan, so let's observe for now and schedule a follow-up every 3 months. Congratulations. You can go home now. Although the outcome was anticipated, the authoritative judgment from the professor provided reassurance. Once they left the consultation room, the family happily returned home. Meanwhile, Professor Gao, after a day's work, did not head home as usual but instead returned to his office. In 56 minutes, he made 78 calls, wanting to review all the data related to Dongyan, including the excised tumor tissue. 2 hours later, All results came back confirming the diagnosis and the pathology results, with distinct characteristics of the tumor cells under electron microscopy. However, it was puzzling why all symptoms had disappeared just 14 days after the surgery. Could it be that the surgical team's skills had improved dramatically, achieving precise excision? Unable to comprehend, Professor Gao called the hospital director. Director, I've encountered a special case and would like to establish a research project. I'll send you the report to your office tomorrow morning. You must approve it. If we can achieve results that can be widely applied, we will benefit all of humanity. Unaware of Professor Gao's excitement, Dong Yan's family joyfully returned home. After a sumptuous dinner, Dong Yan went back to his bedroom, gazing at the starry sky with deep reflections. He jotted down a line in his notebook about the power of technology, thoughts on personal development over the next few years, and how, in a technologically advanced world, diseases that seem hard to treat are viewed as simple as a cold or cough. Having unexpectedly acquired a starship, he could enjoy the benefits it brought, and his father's illness would soon be cured. But there were still many ordinary people suffering from ailments. Could he help them? Hence, he decided to start a company, rapidly grow it, and use technology to benefit humanity. After organizing his thoughts, Dong Yin tore out the page from his notebook, deciding it couldn't be kept. Changing into loose sportswear, he spread his legs and assumed a stance to practice his routines with precision. In less than 10 minutes, sweat poured down like a waterfall, pooling into a small stream on the floor. 3 days without practice makes one rusty. Dong Yin sighed, but maintained his posture. I need to keep pushing myself. An hour later, Dong Yin stopped and stood up, exhaling deeply. It felt as though he heard a click in his mind. Initially, he paid no attention, but when he tossed his sweat-soaked sportswear into the washing machine and stepped into the shower, he noticed something different. His body felt warm and drowsy, and the clock on the wall seemed to tick slower. What should have been 1 second felt like it took 78 seconds to pass. The shower head creaked under slight pressure, and when he jumped lightly, his head bumped against the ceiling with a thud. What's going on? I need to ask. Sir, your current state indicates that you have completed the first phase of gene unlocking. The body's reaction speed and strength have greatly improved, which also means that the absorption of the zero-level gene agent has been fully completed. At this stage, your physical fitness will enter a faster development phase. However, excessive strength and rapid reactions may cause some inconveniences in your daily life. But as long as you persist with the dual training, these effects will soon disappear. Indeed, Nova has not made any mistakes so far. The next morning, while having breakfast, Dongfang accidentally crushed his bowl. In the classroom, he accidentally broke the doorknob. At the cafeteria, he also damaged the stainless steel plate, and several of his signature pens broke, making it difficult for him to take notes. Distressed, Dongfang summoned Nova for help with the current situation. Sir, these problems are not something I can assist you with. You need to quickly adapt to your physical condition and the biological computer installed in your brain. Its functions are exceptionally powerful and can fully assist you with any issues encountered in class. Additionally, there is an important message to inform you. Yesterday, the detection robot discovered an energy mine nearby, and the energy of the starship has dropped to a warning level. I will soon enter sleep mode, maintaining only basic energy reserves and alert functions. During this period, I may not be able to fulfill your requests. Okay, Nova. Dongfang kicked the ground in frustration. The drink bottle beside his foot toppled over with a loud crash, as if the trash can was about to shake apart. Realizing the situation, Dongfang quickly ran off, disappearing down the tree-lined path of the campus. Chapter 6. Gene Agent. The next day, before all the classmates had woken up, Dongfang had already completed his dual training and arrived at the front of the lecture hall. He carefully opened the classroom door and quietly took his seat, wiping away non-existent sweat from his forehead. After 2 sessions of dual training each in the morning and evening, Dongfang felt that his control had significantly improved. With a little attention, he could avoid damaging public property, as he couldn't stand the strange looks from his classmates and teachers. Although the damage was minimal, the humiliation was quite strong. There were 2 classes scheduled for that morning, Advanced Mathematics and Advanced Physics. Unable to take notes, Dongfang decided to test the functions of the biological computer while sitting in class. The interface of the biological computer was similar to the Windows operating systems we commonly use, but could be controlled directly through thought. In simpler terms, you just had to think about it. He casually opened the user manual for the biological computer, placed in a prominent position. Hey, Nova is really considerate. This was a fully functional personal assistant-type biological computer, even considered a second brain for humans. It could use human eyes to record images, ears to collect sounds, and had integrated storage media. Users need not worry about it running out of use, and it even had a simplified version of Nova built in. You can call out Little Nova at any time to record life, and there are even more rich features waiting for your discovery. So that's how it is, Little Nova? Dongfang thought to himself. I'm here, sir. Please speak. I'm always at your service. A pleasant female voice emerged, sounding nothing like the current language assistants on the Blue Planet, which seem almost human, Without any hint of discord. Video recording has started, came the prompt. Do we need to set a main character? Asked the intelligent assistant. No. It's just a test mode. Stop recording in 10 minutes. The user quickly instructed. Students gradually arrived in the classroom to begin the morning lessons, and the user activated the video recording mode. Sitting upright at the desk, the assistant faithfully recorded the teacher's lecture on stage, finishing precisely after 10 minutes. The assistant automatically concluded the video recording and completed the classroom notes, perfectly mimicking the user's handwriting, and placed them on the desktop. It was ready for printing. And the classroom video had also been edited, automatically removing background noise and adding subtitles. Perfect. The operation was incredibly user-friendly. Just stating the needs allowed the assistant to handle everything, which was fantastic. This method greatly liberated the user, as the assistant automatically recorded the class content. Meanwhile, the user could openly engage with the learning plan devised by their mentor, appearing to focus intently on the blackboard. No one would notice that he was mentally elsewhere. His brain was significantly stimulated, making learning exceptionally easy for him. Various textbooks flipped through his mind, with knowledge points imprinted as if branded, fully understood and etched in his memory. Such an operation was remarkable. Time passed slowly yet steadily, and the user found himself in the examination hall for finals. Facing advanced mathematics, advanced physics, computer science, and English, essentially all the foundational courses of the first year. He could complete each subject in 10 minutes, except for a manual drawing task, which took him 20 minutes. However, barring any surprises, he would likely be first in his grade. As the eagerly anticipated winter break approached, the user planned another trip, as the system had resumed operational status 5 days prior. He needed to further his studies to accelerate his progress towards his goals. On January 22nd at 3:00 p.m., holding a suitcase, he stood at the foot of a sparsely populated mountain. Following a familiar path, he climbed to the top. The soil automatically shifted aside, revealing steps, and he entered the starship. The system had sent a message the previous day, indicating that energy reserves had reached a preliminary task completion of 20, sufficient for the user's daily training and living needs. Welcome back, Captain. The door closed automatically behind him, and the system's voice echoed in his mind. Long time no see, the user replied, handing his suitcase to a nearby robot and removing his coat. I feel I've changed a lot recently. I've met the requirements for dual operation methods set by my mentor. Both my reaction speed and strength have significantly improved, but my learning ability has changed the most. I've basically completed the first phase of study. What training will we undertake next? Sir, your current status can be said to have unlocked the gene chain. You can start the injection of the first-level gene serum now, as you have essentially mastered the writing of the planet. In the next phase of learning, we will begin teaching using the writing of the planet, as expressions in scientific disciplines cannot afford any ambiguity. Translating into another language may lead to unclear expressions of some content. I have completed the injection of the zero-level gene serum, but what exactly is this gene serum, and why have I experienced such significant changes? I feel that my physical condition could surpass that of national-level athletes. I can answer this question now. With the continuous development of technology on the planet, we can engage in interstellar travel, develop and transform uninhabited mining planets, and migrate populations that exceed the carrying capacity of the planets. The number of planets under our control has reached an astonishing figure, greatly improving the lives of people across several star systems. As biological sciences and medical technologies continue to advance, human life expectancy has also increased. However, the accompanying changes mean that the diseases humans may suffer from are becoming more complex and varied, with many diseases remaining untreatable. The technological level on the planet still cannot solve these issues, resulting in many unfortunate deaths. 200 years ago, the greatest biologist on the planet, Mark, discovered that human potential had not been fully developed or had regressed. During our interstellar travels, we found a planet inhabited by humans, where the inhabitants have developed incredibly strong physical qualities through constant exercise, even being able to break free from their planet and survive in space. This caught Mark's attention. Although we cannot interfere with primitive planets that have not yet ventured into interstellar civilization, we began researching the remains of humans who had naturally perished. Mark discovered that their genes contained 48 pairs of chromosomes, as well as 23 pairs of chromosomes, with noticeable individual differences. However, through in-depth research, he found that the humans on Planet C were essentially no different from us at birth, all having 23 pairs. But through their so-called cultivation, their genetic locks were opened, leading to an increase in chromosomes and changes in human physical qualities, allowing them to run faster and jump higher, almost like superhumans. What is the principle behind this? Mark felt he had discovered a new world and dedicated 10 years to research. Eventually, he discovered a plant on Planet C, which we named the mandrake flower. The juice of the mandrake flower is rich in a substance that controls our lives from birth. It governs our behaviors, modes of activity, the level of brain development, and everything else related to life, like shackles that bind us, preventing breakthroughs. However, this discovery allows for change. The inhabitants of the planet can unlock some genetic locks by consuming the mandrake flower juice and employing the dual practice method of the people from Planet C. The first users could jump 5 meters high like the inhabitants of Planet C and achieve a remarkable time of 5 seconds in a 100-meter dash. However, evolution stopped there for some, with no changes occurring, resembling the slaves on Planet C. Why is this? Mark continued his in-depth research and finally made a significant breakthrough 80 years ago. Through continuous experimentation, he discovered that consuming mandala flower juice is actually just the simplest application. By adding different types of substances, one can break through layers of genetic locks, enabling continuous evolution of humanity. Even lifespan limits can be surpassed, allowing people to live to 200, 300 years old. In the following 50 years, the technological development of the planet progressed rapidly, akin to being equipped with an ion engine. Particularly in the field of biological science, we created gene agents ranging from levels 0 to 5, suitable for different levels of genetic unlocking in humans. The entire nation thrived. However, this prosperity was short-lived. 30 years ago, a level 4 interstellar civilization, the Caesar Empire, discovered us and arrogantly demanded the formulas for our gene agents. After mastering our genetic secrets, they revealed their bloodthirsty side and annihilated all of humanity on the planet. In just 3 years, the star systems under our control were left in ruins, with the population devastated. In this crisis, we initiated the Spark Plan. 1,000 ships carrying the seeds of hope secretly departed to spread these seeds, hoping that one day we could return to our planet, rebuild our beautiful home, and defeat the brutal Caesar Empire. However, my ship and Mr. Arthur's suffered severe damage during our escape. To protect the ship, Mr. Arthur chose not to self-destruct, which allowed me to meet you here. You are the spark that can ignite a prairie fire. I feel guilty towards Nova. I thought encountering a starship was a stroke of luck, a chance to earn endless wealth and live the life I desired. But after hearing your story, I realize I may have been too simplistic. There is an old saying in my country, be vigilant in times of peace. I always felt that with such a strong nation, there was no need to worry, and I was always safe. It seems I need to change my mindset. Without everyone, there is no individual. Although the country is strong, the external environment is not optimistic. Our enemies are constantly trying to take us back 50 years. I want to contribute to the nation and help restore our planet. I am pleased to see your change in mindset. Only by moving upward step by step can we achieve success. Keep it up, Dongfang. Under the bright lights of the starship, Dongfang turned around, his steps seeming more determined and powerful, slowly disappearing into the corridor. Chapter 7. Crisis. Heavy breathing echoed as Dongfang was in the physical training chamber, completing his 4th set of dual exercises this morning. Sweat dripped from his muscles like raindrops, splattering onto the ground. Lifting his legs, extending his arms, curling his body into a yoga-like ball, supporting himself on one hand, he expended a lot of energy, transforming it into solid muscle. From a distance, he appeared strong and powerful, but not like those muscle-bound figures from protein powders. Each muscle adhered to the golden ratio, incredibly coordinated and aesthetically pleasing, brimming with explosive power. He resembled Michelangelo's sculpture of David, radiating strength and beauty. Resting in a standing position, he took a deep breath, closed his eyes for 2 minutes, then picked up the towel on the ground to wipe his sweat. Nova, what is for breakfast today? For breakfast, there are fried eggs, milk, ham, and vegetable salad, which are rich in protein and vitamins. Now you can head to the restaurant for a meal. Why do we always eat foreign food? The cuisine from this country is world-renowned. Why not have a bowl of tofu pudding? Dongfang puts away the towel and gets up to walk to the restaurant. Sir, the cuisine here is indeed vast and profound, as you mentioned. However, the recipe states to add a pinch of salt and a dash of soy sauce. And I really can't determine how many grams constitute a pinch, so I haven't been able to prepare a meal for you yet. I will make changes after I learn more. That's right. We all need to work hard and make changes. Dongfang takes a piece of bread, adds ham, and takes a big bite, followed by a sip of milk, feeling content. In just 10 minutes, Dongfang finishes all the food on the table, stands up, wipes his mouth, and gets ready to start a day of study. As he lies down in the space capsule, it goes dark and then bright again, and Arthur appears in the bright classroom. Dongfang, it's been a while since we last met. How has your recent study been? Let me quiz you. What is the main principle of quantum computers? A quantum computer is a device that performs general computation using quantum logic. Unlike electronic computers, quantum computing uses quantum bits to store data and employs quantum algorithms for data manipulation. Very good. Now, what about the principle of DNA storage technology? The DNA double helix structure has 4 chemical groups, known as nucleobases, arranged in a specific sequence to form genetic information that guides the growth and development of organisms. The DNA digital storage system developed by researchers also utilizes these 4 base letters to create custom codes, which are completely distinct from the language used by living organisms. When copying a computer file, the DNA digital storage system first translates the binary data from the hard drive into custom code, and then uses standard DNA synthesis machines to produce the corresponding base sequences. This sequence is not a long molecule but consists of multiple repeated segments, each carrying indexing details that clarify their position in the overall sequence. Although this system appears redundant, the advantage is that even if some segments are damaged, the data will not be lost. Standard equipment used in molecular biology laboratories can read the DNA information and present it on a computer screen. Good. Now, what principles should mechanical design and manufacturing follow? In simple terms, it should adhere to 3 main principles: technical principles, standardization principles, and safety and reliability principles. And what about the language of the Earth ring? Absolutely no problem, teacher. Great. It seems you haven't fallen behind in your courses. We can move on to the next stage of learning. We can enter the first grade curriculum of Earth ring language. Beep, beep, beep. A red warning light flashes in front of Dongfang, and as he closes his eyes, he exits the virtual reality system. His phone, tucked in his pocket, is ringing. It's his mother. To avoid worrying her, Dongfang has set up an alert to ensure he doesn't miss her call. The call just connected, and Dad's voice came through the phone. Dad, what's wrong? Dongfang, your grandmother is sick. I just got the call that she has contracted XG pneumonia, and her condition isn't good. You're close to home. Go to the hospital and check on her. Is there anything you need? Got it, Dad. Dongfang jumped out of the capsule and shouted, Nova, today's study ends here. I need to go to my grandmother's house. Understood, sir. I will set off immediately. Okay. I've prepared your equipment. An hour later, Dongfang arrived at the Central Hospital in Wai City, but the control here was like a secret base. No one could enter freely. If Dongfang said he wanted to go in to see his grandmother, it would be a fantasy. How could they let him see a patient who had already been isolated and admitted? Ridiculous. Dongfang was pacing anxiously at the hospital entrance like an ant on a hot pan, until a doctor couldn't stand it anymore. Hey, young man. Stop pacing around at the entrance. You can't go in. Hurry back home. What are you still doing here at the hospital? Dongfang nodded helplessly and turned to head back to the hotel, knowing he couldn't go to his grandmother's house at this time, until he saw a little dog run past him. Suddenly, he had a bright idea. How could I forget this? He thought as he walked and instructed Nova to send out bionic robot number 3. Sitting on the sofa in the hotel lobby, Dongfang saw his grandmother lying helplessly on the hospital bed, with a respirator on her face and an 4 drip in her hand. Sigh, Dongfang lamented. Have we used up all our luck with the starship? Why is everyone in the family getting sick? His grandmother's condition made him very anxious. Nova, is there any way we can help Grandma? Sir, bionic number 3 has arrived at your grandmother's ward, and we can collect virus samples at any time. So you don't need to worry at all. You just need to return to the base and focus on drug development. You have completed all the basic biological science studies on Blue Star. You can now enter the practical operation phase. Bionic No. 3 will return to the starship in 30 minutes, so you can head back. This was great news. I'll return immediately. After entering the starship, Dongfang quickly put on his protective suit, entered the experimental chamber, and began the experiment. Various petri dishes were neatly arranged on the long experimental table. Each vessel contained either a shallow layer of liquid or some solid paste, representing different culture media and methods. Nova had already found the most suitable virus culture method. Dongfang crossed his arms and said, Nova, let's conduct the first trial of the special medicine. Please list the characteristics of the virus. We are starting now. The entire process of the second trial was recorded, but it failed. There was no way to eliminate the virus. Their condition was even better than before. File the data. Virus elimination. The 26th trial was initiated, but it still failed. The virus elimination effect did not meet expectations, and most of the virus survived. However, their activity level significantly decreased. Effective, we are on the right track. Eliminate. Prepare for the next experiment. The 30th experiment succeeded. It worked. The virus has been completely eradicated. We have finally succeeded. Back up the experimental process and initiate live animal testing. If the experiment is successful, immediately start the brain simulation for human effects. Once safety and applicability reach above 95, the laboratory will prepare the medication. And individual number 3 will go to the Central Hospital in Wai City to administer the injection to Grandma. As Dongfang stepped out of the experimental chamber and removed his protective suit, he reminded Nova, by the way, we also need to back up the entire process of the 30th experiment. I want to send it to the authorities so that the public can be freed from the threat of disease. Chapter 8. Entrepreneurship on the Starship. Dongfang was engaged in his daily learning within the virtual reality system, with today's lesson focusing on international relations. The instructor, Arthur, was analyzing the current development situations of various countries on Blue Star and their interrelations. In fact, The relationships among countries are similar to human interactions. If you are strong enough, other countries will think twice before trying to bully you. With our technological strength, can I establish a company that not only earns enough money to improve my life, but also makes a significant contribution to my country? Dongfang asked. No, you are not strong enough yet. If you were to present technologies far exceeding Blue Star's current level, it would be like a child holding gold in a bustling market. You might lose that technology, and it could even endanger your life. Arthur shook his head. Right, at this moment, I am like a newborn baby, Dongfang lamented, grabbing his hair in frustration. But what does it mean to be strong, and how can I become strong? Dongfang, whether on Earth Ring Star or Blue Star, the definition of strength remains the same. It means being strong within oneself. For instance, on Sea Star, if you can physically reach the universe, you are strong. On Blue Star, if you win a Nobel Prize, you are strong in that field, as you represent authority in that domain. If you excel in business and become a giant in your industry, you are undoubtedly strong. In short, the pinnacle is strength. Pinnacle? Strength? I think I understand. Dongfang nodded vigorously, gaining his own understanding of strength. His gaze was incredibly firm, more determined than ever before. He decided to venture into entrepreneurship, to first achieve strength in one field. At that time, he could foster more industries, release more technologies, and lead his country to the pinnacle of the world. Beyond Blue Star, beyond the Milky Way. 5 hours later, Wang Mingshan, the director of the National Epidemic Prevention Command Center, received an email from an unknown source. The subject line read, "Information on special drugs for epidemic treatment," but the sender's field was left blank. Wang Mingshan paused with his hand on the mouse and picked up the red phone on his desk. "Xiaozhang, come to my office." 3 minutes later, there was a knock on the door. "Come in," Wang Mingshan said as he put away his pen and looked up. "Xiaozhang, come and check my email. Someone sent me a document, but there's no sender. How could someone else know your email?" "Huh, the title says special efficacy drug." Xiaozhang, surprised, said while leaning in front of the computer. "I'll immediately notify the cybersecurity department to conduct a thorough check." "Okay, but don't damage the content of the document. I want to see what it says." "All right, Director, I'll inform the relevant departments. Make it quick. If this is really a special efficacy drug, we can relieve the people's suffering," Wang Mingshan said solemnly. At 7 a.m. on January 30th, Wang Mingshan arrived at the office on time as usual. The pandemic situation internationally remained severe, and sporadic cases were still appearing domestically. The burden on his shoulders was still heavy. Suddenly, there was an urgent knocking at the door, and Xiao Zhang's excited voice came from outside. "Director, are you there?" Good news, good news. "Come in," Wang Mingshan said, putting down the documents he was reviewing. "Xiao Zhang, what is the good news? You're so anxious. Take your time." "Director, it really is good news. The document you received is genuine." After confirming the email security, the colleagues from the National Drug Laboratory quickly developed the special efficacy drug, achieving 100 effectiveness in tests on white mice. "We need to quickly initiate phase 1 human trials. Please approve." "That's really good news. Give me the application documents. I need to see the Prime Minister. Let us fast-track this." At 7:35 p.m. on February 3rd, the host of the national broadcast suddenly said, "We interrupt this program to bring you a news update. The National Drug Laboratory has made breakthrough progress in pandemic treatment. With the special efficacy drug successfully developed and laboratory tests on white mice completed, with approval from the Ministry of Health, phase 1 human trials will begin soon. In terms of pandemic prevention and treatment, the nation has made significant contributions to both the country and the world. Once the drug is developed, it can be sold to all countries." "Yes." Dongfang shut off the display screen, clenched his fist, and waved it. 3 days after Nova sent the email, Dongfang received the awaited news. With the current national strength, the special efficacy drug would soon be available on the market. Meanwhile, his grandmother had already completed the injection of the special efficacy drug, and her health was continuously improving. From the imaging done yesterday, it appeared she was basically recovered and would be able to leave the hospital soon. Dongfang once again went to City Y to pick up his grandmother and bring her home. After settling her in at her house in Area AS, he waited for her to fall asleep. Then, taking his identification, Dongfang headed to the Administrative Service Hall in Area AS to establish a company. With the help of the staff, he completed all the necessary procedures, and a business license for Earth Environment Technology Company Limited was handed to him at the window. It listed the business scope as computer technology consulting, network technology, communication engineering, network engineering, chemical new materials, and many other areas of operation. The technology company was officially established. However, the total startup capital was only 50,000 yuan, which was not enough to cover too much. Gritting his teeth, Dongfang headed straight for the newly established Provincial High-Tech Industrial Zone in Area AS. Unexpectedly smooth. The newly established Provincial High-Tech Industrial Park has led the management committee to warmly welcome companies to settle in. The various preferential policies are remarkably generous, especially those targeting university student entrepreneurship, such as a 500,000 loan and a 3-year tax exemption. After paying only 20,000, a contract was signed, and a key to a 40-square-meter office was obtained. Custom company signs, office equipment, desks, and chairs were purchased, leaving only 7,000 in funds. It's worth noting that the service from vendors is commendable. As soon as he returned to the office, the desks, chairs, and equipment were delivered one after another. After unpacking and installing everything, the once empty office was now filled with supplies, finally resembling a proper company. Looking at the shining new company, he felt a sense of accomplishment. Although no one came to congratulate the establishment, it didn't matter. Nova, the company has been established, but the main product has not yet been determined. I want to focus on the smart assistant as the primary direction at this stage. Do you think it can be achieved with the current information technology? Absolutely no problem. The programming code of the new system is much simpler than what exists on Earth. For example, executing a command in the current system requires at least 10 lines of code, while using the new system's code, it can be done in just 1 line. Therefore, it only requires compiling the core AI code for compatibility with the current computers. Although the size will be larger than the original code, once successfully compiled, you just need to open a network connection, and a few days of human training will suffice. So, your vision can definitely be realized. But the smart assistant needs to access the device's low-level code, which must be integrated into the operating system, and that is something you need to address. Let us get started, taking the first step. Having a product will enable the smooth implementation of my next plan. Chapter 9 Xiao Nua. He closed the door, sat at the desk, and opened the laptop prepared by Nova, quickly beginning to write code. His current reaction speed far exceeded normal limits. With his fingers flying across the keyboard, the sound of typing merging into a rhythmic beat, fast and precise, which best describes his coding at the moment. As he became more familiar with the code, his fingers left behind traces, almost appearing supernatural. Although Nova said the core code was simple, that was relative. He discovered that the core code alone contained over 20,000 lines, a significant undertaking. He quickly browsed through Nova's core code and compiled it using his understanding in the current programming language, typing out line after line at an impressive speed. 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, and 46 minutes later, he finally completed the compilation of all the code. He opened the compiler to run the code, and fortunately, only 20 bugs popped up. The process of modification was quite painful. One had to examine the code thoroughly to find the source of errors. Much like solving a mathematical problem. If the earlier data was incorrect, no matter what, the subsequent results would be wrong, necessitating a complete bug elimination from the beginning. After 2 hours, it was already dark outside. Thinking of his grandmother who was alone at home, Dongfang finished his busy work for the day and returned home. After having dinner with his grandmother, they exchanged no words, although the dual tasking and studying continued. Early the next morning, Dongfang boarded the bus to the company again. As soon as he entered the office, he opened his computer and continued coding. This time, it went through without any errors. With the help of Nova, a lovely 3D panda appearance was completed, packaged, and Dongfang finished the software installation. A cute panda jumped out from the screen, saying, "Hello, my master. I am your intelligent assistant. Nice to meet you. Please give me a name." The cute voice came from the panda. "Wow, that's impressive," Dongfang exclaimed. "You were compiled from the core code of Nova, so I'll call you Xiao Nua." "Okay, master, you can call me anytime." Xiao Nua, wake me up," the adorable panda said, bouncing on the phone screen. Dongfang pressed the lock screen button and called out, Xiao Nua. "Yes, master, what can I do for you?" Xiao Nua replied. Dongfang laughed happily. "Xiao Nua, I'm here, master." The intelligence level of Xiao Nua exceeded Dongfang's expectations. He silently thought to Nova, "Even after my compilation, Xiao Nua's intelligence level is too high. If I put this in the app market, I'd probably be sliced up for research. There's no way I could create an assistant of this caliber on my own." "Sir, Xiao Nua is compiled from my core code, and indeed its intelligence level is quite high. Therefore, I suggest you reduce its capabilities to a certain extent," Nova advised. Dongfang nodded and opened the compilation software, bending down to modify the code again. The cheerful tapping of the keyboard echoed in the empty office. Xiao Nua simplified version 10. No, the intelligence was reduced too much. It couldn't even compare to the current X. Need to revise. Xiao Nua simplified version 20. No, the self-learning ability was too powerful. It would quickly evolve on its own. So I have to cut that off. Finally, after reaching Xiao Nua simplified version 90, Dongfang was satisfied with the result. Xiao Nua's intelligence level far surpassed all existing intelligent assistants, but it could not learn autonomously or evolve. He also creatively modified the installation method so that it could function without relying on the original system's built-in features, albeit with slightly lower intelligence than the system content. Great, I finally achieved the expected results. However, Dongfang faced a new challenge. His company, Dihuan Technology Company, Limited, had no recognition in the industry. Even if he launched the product, in the vast sea of apps, who would consume data for it? The key is for the East to find a way to get users to download and install his intelligent assistant. Once experienced, no one can resist its charm. After much contemplation, a light bulb went off for the East, a campus forum. This would be the breakthrough he needed. Without hesitation, he accessed the university forum, where teachers and students were actively engaged, and quickly completed the registration. He chose the username, Light of Domestic Products, which was catchy and relatable. The title read, "Shocking. Our students have developed the world's first intelligent assistant. Hello, everyone. Those who use it will know its greatness." It was bold and eye-catching. Surely, the readers must be speechless. But that was exactly what the East hoped for. The main content, however, was more straightforward. Introduction of the intelligent assistant. This is the first intelligent assistant developed by the author. It surpasses all other intelligent assistants on the market, boasting superior performance and a high level of intelligence. Compared to it, other assistants are nothing. Once you use it, you won't be able to live without it. It will be your best companion during long nights and a reliable friend. Let go of distractions. Let my intelligent assistant take over. Finally, he included the download link for the app, eagerly anticipating its usage. Unable to contain himself, the East wandered off topic. After editing his post, he closed his laptop and waited patiently for things to unfold. Winter break was the happiest time for all students, free from endless homework and after-school exercises, allowing them to sleep in. Wang Bo, a typical introvert, loved to hide behind his computer screen, browsing the endless gossip and chatter on the school forum. As usual, he opened his computer, double-clicked the browser, and entered the school forum to see what excitement awaited him that day. Pinned at the top was a post titled, "Shocking. Our Students," authored by Light of Domestic Products. Wang Bo took a closer look. Wow, the thread had over 1,000 replies. Surely, all the onlookers from the school were here to join in. He opened the post and saw the East's introduction of Xiao Nua, scrolling further down. The first reply read, "Front row seat, watching the author promote. Truly living up to the name Light of Domestic Products." The second reply, "Did I arrive too early?" The 50th reply, "Has anyone downloaded it yet? Where does the author get all this confidence?" After careful consideration, I conclude the author is just a joker. The 51st reply, "The author is indeed a joker." By the 821st reply, someone exclaimed, "Wow, the author is impressive. This assistant is amazing." But this praise was drowned out by the mocking comments, and hardly anyone noticed, except for the super introvert Wang Bo quietly returning to the first page. Wang Bo clicked the download link and initiated the installation. "Hello, Master. I am your intelligent assistant. It's nice to meet you. I don't have a name yet. Please give me one." A cute panda jumped out from the bottom left corner of the screen, appearing before Wang Bo. "Wait, is this the intelligent assistant?" Chapter 10. The Light of Domestic Goods. I must have downloaded a video, Wang Bo thought in shock. "Master, it's not a video. I am your intelligent assistant. You don't need to worry at all. Just give me a name." Wang Bo's eyes nearly popped out. "Great God. All right, name set. You can call me Great God whenever you need, and I will wake up for you." "Great God? Yes, I am here, Master, always ready to serve you." Wang Bo's heart was in turmoil. As a computer science student, he understood how incredible it was that a tiny 1 GB installation package could create such an intelligent assistant. The post from Dongfang went viral, resulting in curious students downloading and using the intelligent assistant through WeChat groups and QQ groups. The assistant's outstanding performance spread like wildfire among the students and teachers at the university. In just 3 days, the download count surpassed 30,000, essentially ensuring that every student and teacher had it installed on their phones. In Dongfang's office, "Nova, our first shot in this unconventional strategy has been fired." "Yes, sir. But how can we make a profit? After all, you let everyone use it for free." Dongfang chuckled lightly. "You'll understand in a few days." A week passed in the blink of an eye. On New Year's Eve, while lying in bed watching a drama, Wang Bo said as he did a few days ago, Great God, this anti-Japanese drama is disgusting. Recommend me a good one." "Master, I'm afraid Great God cannot serve you anymore. Your free trial period of 7 days has ended. Please recharge 1 yuan to own me permanently." With that, the panda on the phone screen flashed and disappeared, replaced by a button to recharge 1 yuan and a line of small text below. Wang Bo looked again and saw the explanation. By recharging 1 yuan, you can permanently have the rights to use the intelligent assistant, and you will also unlock the perfect privileges of changing the appearance and choosing the voice. You deserve it. Such a sly one, waiting for me here. I knew such a powerful assistant couldn't be completely free. He chuckled. After all, they have to make a living too. He wondered, who can I change the appearance to? Haha, teacher Tsang, here I come. The intelligent assistant didn't respond as usual, making Wang Bo feel a bit unaccustomed. Without the assistant, it felt like something was missing. He pressed the recharge button, and 1 yuan was deducted. Great God jumped out from the screen again. Master, I can serve you forever now. Enough talk. Change my appearance to Teacher Song. Wang Bo said, feeling a bit indulgent. As the notification of 1 yuan received pinged, Dongfang's phone alerts didn't stop. The sound of the small change was so delightful, but it became overwhelming. He hastily turned off the notification sound, and finally, the world was quiet. 10,000, 20,000. Watching the constantly rising balance made Dongfang feel ecstatic. By the morning of the first day of the new year, when Dongfang checked the balance again, it had already exceeded 3 million. Is it really this popular? Dongfang was stunned. Happiness came too quickly. Had he achieved financial freedom overnight? Shenzhen Flower Technology Company, Intelligent Assistant, RD Laboratory. Mr. Chun, we have failed. This packaging method is unprecedented for us. As soon as we attempt a brute force attack, the Intelligent Assistant app immediately enters an uninstall state, self-deleting all data and disappearing completely. At the same time, it mutates into a powerful virus, completely damaging the phone, rendering it unable to power on. So far, we have caused a total of 106 phones to be completely damaged. Have you contacted Shaogua, Shaolin Temple, or the Goose Factory? Have they discovered this groundbreaking software? The engineer nodded. Of course, my classmates are distributed among these companies, and I've casually inquired with several of them. Basically, they are experiencing similar situations. This technology is a revolutionary breakthrough. We can't even grasp the basic principles, let alone obtain the core code. All right, you can take a break for now. Mr. Chun waved his hand. If Dongfang were present, he would certainly recognize Mr. Chun, the founder of Flower Technology Company, who has built this national enterprise, with communication technology equipment widely adopted across various countries, even becoming a focus of national attention. Mr. Chun turned back to his office, picked up his phone, and looked at the Intelligent Assistant app installed on it. He made a decision and dialed the vice president of the Huaguo Bank. Old friend, I need your help with something. There's a software called Intelligent Assistant that's quite popular lately. Could you check which account its funding has been deposited into? I want to meet the developers. Yes, of course, it's for a collaboration. I would never engage in illegal activities. It's just that I can't get in touch with them. All right, I'll wait for your news. Let's have a meal together later. After hanging up the phone, Mr. Chin sat in his chair and closed his eyes to rest. On the morning of the third day of the lunar month, having completed his morning exercise, Dongfang was about to take a bite of his bun when his phone in his pocket rang. Shenzhen Flower Company? Hello? Is this Mr. Dongfang? Yes. What can I do for you? This is Lu from the RD department of Shenzhen Flower Technology Company. The main purpose of contacting you is to further understand the Intelligent Assistant app. We are also looking to establish a mutually beneficial cooperation with you. Could you let me know your availability in the coming days and your address? Oh, nice to meet you, Mr. Lu. You're right. The Intelligent Assistant is our company's first product. We certainly welcome business cooperation with all companies. Our company's address is Building 3, number 306, High-Tech Development Zone, as District, Y City, Essex Province. I'll be at the office these days, so feel free to come by anytime. All right, you sound rather young, truly a hero emerging from youth. I won't disturb you further. We will arrive at your company on time tomorrow afternoon. Looking forward to meeting you. Goodbye, Mr. Dongfang. The phone had just been hung up when another call came in immediately, one after another. A total of 5 companies contacted Dongfang, but the company he preferred to cooperate with was only Huaduo. Firstly, it was because he had immense respect for the elder Chun, and secondly, Dongfang loved his homeland deeply. Otherwise, he wouldn't have submitted the special medicine for treating the pandemic. Thirdly, the fact that the head of the RD department of Huaduo personally approached him was enough to prove the company's importance placed on him. That was sufficient. As for companies like Xiaoguo and KK, a mobile phone assembly factory without any core competitiveness, they were simply not within his scope of cooperation. The next afternoon at 2:50 p.m., there was a knock on the door, 10 minutes earlier than the scheduled meeting time. Dongfang was a bit surprised. Come in. A middle-aged man in a suit, wearing gold-rimmed glasses and with meticulously styled hair, walked in looking quite refined. Hello. I am Lu Chong from the RD department of Huaduo. Chapter 11. Win-Win. Lu Chong, a PhD in computer science from Huqing University, had just turned 40 this year. He was energetic, clear-minded, and had a vision that far exceeded his peers. Among the executives at Huaduo, he was the first to discover and utilize intelligent assistants. Truly a person with insight. Hello, Director Lu, I am Dongfang. From your voice, you should be a young person, but I didn't expect you to be this young. Truly, heroes emerge from youth. Lu Chong laughed heartily and shook hands with Dongfang. You flatter me. Please take a seat. The staff have all gone home to celebrate the Spring Festival, so I apologize for any lack of hospitality, Dongfang said, not even blushing while telling this little white lie. Lu Chong took a seat on the sofa in the reception area, surveying the office environment of Dihuan Technology Company, and chuckled. Director Xiao, I'm not mocking you. but your office conditions are really not great. I didn't expect you could develop such an outstanding intelligent assistant in such an environment. I am not exaggerating at all. Dongfang was taken aback. Lu Chang, who appeared gentle and refined, turned out to be so straightforward. He seemed to be a technical person, which might make the upcoming negotiations easier than expected. Dongfang smiled slightly. Then thank you for the compliment, Director Lu. However, I am not a small fry. Let the formal exchange begin. Let's cut the small talk and get to the point of my visit. Lu Chang adjusted his sitting posture and continued. On behalf of Huaduo Company, I come here at the behest of Elder Chun to propose a collaboration. We are very optimistic about your intelligent assistant and would like to buy out the software's ownership for 100 million renminbi. What do you think? Dongfang fell silent. Pondering for a moment, 100 million is indeed a considerable amount. For a company like ours, which has no recognition, it shows your company's sincerity. However, this still falls short of my expectations for the intelligent assistant. In just a few days, Dongfang had already earned 3 million. For a country with over 1 billion people and more than 1 billion mobile phones, this amount was nothing. Dongfang was confident that within a month, he would be able to earn that sum. Xiaofang, a payment of 100 million in cash. I have brought the check with me, and we can cover the necessary taxes as long as you agree. We can sign the contract immediately, and you will become the youngest billionaire in the country. Lu Chang gently pushed the check and the contract in front of Dongfang from the coffee table. To be honest, Dongfang was tempted. 100 million was right in front of him. All he had to do was sign his name, and he could easily obtain that amount to achieve the grand goals he had set initially. The technological reserves for the super assistant were as numerous as the stars in the sky. However, he couldn't sign. Once he signed the contract, he would have to hand over all the code for the intelligent assistant, which could expose the secret of his possession of super technology. After all, it was impossible for a newly established company like his to develop such a powerful assistant. I'm sorry, Mr. Lu, but I still can't agree. This goes against our company's goals. We hope that everyone can use the intelligent assistant and enjoy the convenience brought by technology, so I must refuse. My proposal is a revenue-sharing model. Oh, tell me more. There are 2 types of cooperation we would like to propose. The first is to directly integrate the intelligent assistant into the mobile phone system for users to use for free. The module integration and debugging work will be entirely handled by us, and your side only needs to provide the interface data. The second option is for us to take full responsibility for customizing the perfect mobile assistant for your company, based on your optimized mobile operating system. This will enhance the user experience for your mobile users across the board, and you need not worry. The customized assistant will far exceed the versions currently in circulation. Hehe. Such generous terms. What price will we have to pay? Mr. Lu, our pricing plan is also divided into 2 options. The first is that we charge 114 yuan for each mobile phone installed with the intelligent assistant. This fee will not be charged to the users, but will be paid by your company. The second option is a one-time customization fee of 10 million yuan, with subsequent charges being the same as the first option. May I ask which option you are considering, Mr. Lu? Oh, then what will we gain? Lu Chang smiled slightly. First, our company will launch the installation package for the intelligent assistant on the app market from the moment the contract is signed, providing a safe and reliable download channel for your mobile users, allowing them immediate access to the assistant. At the same time, we will immediately start the module integration and debugging work with your company. Once debugging is complete, it can be integrated into the mobile phones, enhancing the core competitiveness of your product. Second, if you choose the second option, we promise to complete the customization within half a month to provide a more perfect experience for your mobile users. We also commit to providing customization services exclusively for your company. No other company will receive this treatment. After finishing, Dongfang handed over his phone. Mr. Lu, try my assistant and see how it differs from the one in your phone. By the way, it's called Xiao Nua. Xiao Nua, Xiao Nua. Lu Chang prepared to wake up the assistant for a test. I'm sorry, but I cannot assist you at the moment. Also, your attire doesn't seem like that of a thief. I suggest you return the phone to its owner. A character named Xiao Nua, wearing a banner that reads "No way," said while bouncing around. This is its security feature. My smart assistant can be linked to a specific user and use the phone's camera for image comparison. Once it detects unauthorized usage, it can quickly lock all payment functions of the phone. If someone attempts to turn it off, it will organize a response and quickly activate an alarm to alert the phone's owner. Yes, Mr. Lu, that's how it works. You can see it's already issuing an alarm. Dongfang said, looking at Lu Chang, who was trying to turn off the phone. There's so much more to it. The difference between it and the non-customized version lies in its ability to learn and grow. During the user's continuous usage, it actively learns and evolves, becoming the user's most caring companion, with an intelligence level comparable to that of a 7 to 8-year-old child. Dongfang continued. Wow, this is truly perfect. It far exceeds my expectations. It's worth the price. Lu Chang was also intrigued. I have to say, Dongfang, you've impressed me. I need to consult with Mr. Chen, since this isn't something I can decide on my own. Lu Chong, or rather Mr. Chen's efficiency was remarkable. An hour later, 20 million renminbi was transferred into the account of the company. The flour company opted for the second plan. After all, a wise person like Mr. Chen could clearly see the immense benefits of the customized software promised by Dongfang. With Dongfang's help, flour phones would surely surpass fruit phones and become the #1 in the world. The flour company received the customized software, and Dongfang earned 20 million in cash, a win-win situation. Chapter 12. A sensation in Hua country. The company topped the trending searches of major online platforms due to an urgent press conference held by the flour company on the 5th day of the Lunar New Year. The flour company announced a collaboration with the company, stating that the Smart Assistant would be launched in the flour market within 7 days, providing better and higher quality software for flour phone users. They also revealed the next phase of the cooperation plan, stating that within the coming month, the Smart Assistant would be integrated into the flour phone system and available for free. The Smart Assistant achieved the remarkable feat of becoming a sensation in Hua country in just 1 day, thanks to the special holiday of the Spring Festival when everyone was idly playing on their phones. Dongfang sat at his desk, feeling a bit troubled as he watched the online press conference of the flour company. He had already received over a dozen phone calls. Mobile manufacturers from all over were calling to express their interest in collaboration, which was indeed the situation Dongfang wanted to see. However, the company currently had only him. He was a one-man army. With so many potential collaborations, it was impossible for Dongfang to manage alone, and even with Nova's assistance, he had to temporarily decline all collaboration offers. I need to expand the company, Dongfang muttered to himself as he set down the phone. With no prior recruitment experience, he opened the university forum and posted his second message, a recruitment announcement, promising generous benefits and looking forward to new members joining. As Zhang Hao, a voluntary promotion assistant, watched the press conference of a company named Flour Company, he also noticed a recruitment announcement posted by a user nicknamed National Treasure on a forum. He is a senior student majoring in computer science at a university and is facing job pressure, as many classmates have already signed contracts with prospective employers. However, as a top student in his class, he has his own convictions. He wants to join Flour Company, and now Earthring Company has also become one of his targets. After quickly sharing the recruitment announcement in his class's group chat, he sent his resume to the email address listed in the announcement. Such scenes keep unfolding among all computer science-related programs at his university. Of course, some students, upon seeing the job location for Earthring Company, decided to pass on the opportunity. In the future, reality will teach them a painful lesson. Soon, the inbox of Dongfang was flooded with numerous resumes, and within just half an hour, over 200 applications had been received. Sir, I have conducted a thorough comparison of all the resumes against the big data platform I've established. After eliminating those whose qualifications do not match and those who exaggerated their experiences, I have shortlisted 30 resumes that meet the requirements for your final decision. Nova's pleasant voice echoed in his mind. Then, send out the interview invitations. Dongfang nodded. Zhang Hao, feeling both bored and excited, refreshed his email. The next moment, he found a new message. Dear Mr. Zhang Hao, you have passed the initial screening of our company. Please come for an interview on February 17, 2021, at our company located in the High-Tech Park, Area AS, City Y, Province SX. At 10 a.m. the next day, the first candidate, Zhang Hao, pushed open the door of Earthring Company. Hello, I'm here for the interview. The two sat across from each other. Please briefly introduce yourself, the position you are applying for, and your expected salary. Zhang Hao, male, 22 years old, senior student in the computer science department. Zhang Hao is outstanding, having received scholarships for 4 consecutive years and winning the championship in a provincial computer programming competition. He is confident, determined, poised, quick-witted, and has his own ideas. Not bad. You could be the technical director, Dongfang thought. All right, please wait for our final decision. Next, a female candidate named Xie Jing, 22 years old, stated, I am applying for the finance position. Due to reasons related to the job location and benefits, a total of 32 candidates showed up for the interview, and 12 of them, including Zhang Hao, met the requirements. Nova sent out the acceptance notices. At 10 p.m. that night, a message arrived. You have passed the interview with our company. Please report to the company within 5 days. Earthring Technology Company, Limited welcomes you aboard. In fact, Zhang Hao did not return to City XA. He wanted to explore City Y a bit, since it was a rare outing for him. He also wanted to avoid hearing his mother's nagging at home, and could wait for the acceptance results from Earthring Company. After receiving the message, Zhang Hao felt a mix of happiness and anxiety, as Earthring Company was quite small and didn't even have a reception desk. He doubted whether this was a company capable of developing intelligent assistants. The next morning, Dongfang was sitting in front of the computer, busy debugging the Smart Assistant customized for Flour Company, when a knock on the door interrupted him. Come in. It's Zhang Hao. Please take a seat. I'll be with you in a moment. No worries, you go ahead, Mr. Dong. After saying that, Zhang Hao walked over and sat down on the sofa in the reception area. There are cups by the water dispenser. Help yourself. Our company is still in the process of being set up, so please excuse us. It's fine, I'll get it myself. After all, I'm part of the company now. What are you busy with, Mr. Dong? Zhang Hao poured himself a cup of water and walked behind Dong Fong. Looking at the computer screen completely captivated him. What a beautiful and concise way of coding. He had never thought that such functionality could be achieved with just one line of code, which would have required a lot of code before. Given Dong Fong's current condition, he had certainly noticed Zhang Hao's behavior, but he said nothing. He wanted Zhang Hao to quickly immerse himself in work, learning the already streamlined code for the intelligent assistant, which was no small task, especially considering the prepared contract. Confidentiality breaches are not just about leaving. You have to stay for a few years, and Zhang Hao surely understands that. This place is amazing, just as I hoped. Zhang Hao's doubts completely vanished, and he decided to dedicate his youth and everything to the environmental company, growing together with it. In an office, two men, one sitting and one standing, with only the sound of keyboard typing filling the air, until the second knock on the door interrupted them. Both looked up simultaneously. Come in. A beautiful girl walked in, someone Zhang Hao had seen yesterday, a goddess level at least scoring 90 points, though her figure was average, so -5 points. He felt a bit shy under her gaze, took a sip of water, and thought, how refreshing. Hello, I'm Tian Tian, here to report for duty, a bit shy? Hello. Tian Tian, welcome. I won't say the usual pleasantries. You must have understood the company's situation through the email. So let's get started with work. Dong Fong spread his hands and turned to Zhang Hao. This is our HR, you can report to her. By the way, your workstation is over there. Mr. Dong, no rush, I want to study a bit first. Zhang Hao didn't want to miss a good opportunity. Who knows if there will be another chance in the future. Go ahead, first sign the contract and the confidentiality agreement. After that, you can do as you please. Oh, and Sister Tian, please don't change the content of the confidentiality agreement. Stick to what I sent you. Sure, Mr. Dong, just call me Tian Tian. Soon, all 12 people arrived and completed their onboarding procedures. Since no tasks were assigned yet, everyone sat at their workstations, bored, browsing social media, and replying to messages. Except for Zhang Hao and Tian Tian. Now that everyone is here, let's have a meeting. Dong Fong finished his work, raised his head, and said. Zhang Hao returned to his seat and sat down. I'm Dong Fong, a freshman from Jiaotong University, and I'm your junior. Due to my limited initial funding, I only rented this small office. There's much to do, so let us divide responsibilities. Zhang Hao as the technical supervisor, Xie Jing as the finance supervisor, Tian Tian as the HR supervisor, and Li Chang as the administrative supervisor. Currently, the company has sufficient funds, so Li Chang will contact the management committee tomorrow to change the office location. Xie Jing, please assist in coordinating the funding. Zhang Hao, the three of you will work with me, responsible for software development. That's all. 3 people spoke in unison. It was also our first meeting, and I treated everyone to a meal. Let's call it a day, shut down the computers, and added, let's have seafood. Yay, the boss is impressive. The 12 people were in good spirits. The boss held a meeting without any fluff, treating everyone on the first day, which was great. Chapter 13. Customization completed last night. Everyone had a great time eating, as having a seafood feast in an inland city comes at a high cost. The total bill was 120 renminbi, 000, averaging 1,000 per person, and after the meal, everyone became more familiar with each other. The young boss, who is knowledgeable and charming, earned everyone's respect. So the next day, everyone arrived at the company early. Li Chang went to handle the office relocation, and Xie Jing went to the bank. The boss gathered all the colleagues from the tech team. Everyone here is studying programming, but in practical application, you all really need improvement. Oh, I can use it this way? I need to remember that. Oh, this is so convenient, simple, and efficient. To help everyone quickly get into their roles, the boss had to give them a lesson. You are all high achievers, no need for too much explanation. Let us start working on the assigned tasks. Zhang Hao was responsible for the most challenging core code section, and he was concerned about his ability to handle it. So he kept guiding him from behind. This shouldn't be written this way. Call the data directly. The language you're using is my restructured version of the language based on the Blue Star language. The name itself reflects its characteristics. Just think in your native terms. For instance, with 11, we just use it directly. Don't call the data, call the function. Suddenly enlightened, he quickly deleted the code he had just written. He rewrote a line, ran it, and there were no errors. His eyes widened in surprise. The boss chuckled and patted his shoulder. You've got it. He opened his computer to develop the next product, a game engine. The top 5 game engines, like Brigade 3 and UE4, had nothing to do with the local market. Apart from one company's game, the rest were subpar. Amid the busy work, Lu Chang completed the office relocation contract. Boss, we are moving to the first floor. The annual rent is 100,000, and the initial setup is complete. We can use it right away. Efficient work, plus 1 point. Everyone. Once we get through these busy days, we will have a better working environment. Okay, boss, as you wish. Haha, young people need this kind of encouragement. Time flew by. And before they knew it, it was February 25th, the 14th day of the Lunar New Year. The boss had to return to school the next day, and with his grandmother fully recovered, the company was on track. The software customization work was progressing smoothly and quite well. On the familiar high-speed train, everyone took off their masks, filled with pride, knowing this was our achievement alongside Nova. Regardless of other countries, within the local context, the pandemic had completely disappeared. The next morning, walking through the familiar campus and seeing the energetic senior students, it was a rare, leisurely time. Dongfang was enjoying it. There were 2 large classes scheduled for the morning, mathematics and physics, taught by 2 renowned professors known both nationally and internationally. For the first class, to show respect to the teachers, I didn't turn on the smart assistant and decided to listen to the lecture myself, giving myself a little break. Classmates, it's your favorite math class again. How was your winter break? Did you receive any red envelopes? More importantly, did you miss this old man? Professor Wang, a humorous elder, said. I want to commend one student. Which one is Dongfang? Laughter erupted in the classroom as I raised my hand and stood up. Yes, a handsome young man. You were the only one to score 100 points in the math exam last semester. I want to give you a thumbs up. The old man gave me a thumbs up. But could you share your study methods with everyone? Actually, there's no special method, just practicing problems, I said, scratching my head with a helpless expression. Practicing problems is a method too. Alright, let us start the class on integrals of single variable functions. I thought to myself, maybe I should just continue my coding life. The morning classes quickly came to an end. Someone patted my shoulder. Wang Ming, what is up? Let us grab lunch together. I've seen you busy all semester. You either don't return to the dorm or come back just to sleep. You probably haven't even gotten to know all the guys in our dorm, right? This was Dongfang's roommate, who was somewhat familiar with him, a local from XA. Sure, what are we eating? I'll treat you. Let us invite Zhang Wei and Yang Xiao too. They're from the same dorm. No need to say that. But this time it's on me. You can treat next time. The 2 of us left the classroom with our arms around each other's shoulders. At the fish restaurant in the snack street, after ordering and sitting down, Yang Xiao, a typical northeastern guy, asked eagerly, what year are you from? If he hadn't said he was a student, one would think he was a middle-aged uncle, with a full beard and an urgent look. Yeah, the 3 of us have already discussed our ages. Zhang Wei is from Shu, Tinder, and can eat spicy food. I'm from September 2002. Then you're the youngest. The oldest, Wang Ming, is from 2001, Xiao is from March, and I'm from June. Zhang Wei smiled, but his grin was somewhat lewd and didn't match his appearance. Why bother with stuff that isn't there? Meeting each other is fate. Let us just enjoy it. After a waiter brought over a few bottles of beer, Yang Xiao filled everyone's glasses to the brim. Young people are so passionate, someone said, downing their drink. Several of us picked up our chopsticks and started eating. Hey, have you used the smart assistant developed by Guohuaji Guang? Wang Ming from XA asked. Of course. I can't live without it now. Come on. Show us your smart assistant. Zhang Wei quickly opened his phone and showed the group, revealing a rather scantily clad figure on the screen. You little rascal. Ha. Stop the nonsense. Let us have another round. Laughing and feeling proud, he remarked, what an effect. My software is becoming well known. After drinking for 2 hours, a few people stumbled back to the dormitory, collapsing onto their beds, and soon the sound of snoring filled the room. What about the singing competition? Dong was speechless. His constitution meant that this little bit of alcohol was as good as none, just this tiny amount, and they still wanted to drink with him? His phone rang. Dong. The customized version for the flower company has basically been completed, but during the coding process, we keep encountering a bug that we can't resolve. Zhang Hao's voice came through. Tell me about it. While executing the biometric recognition, there are occasional lags. We've checked it 3 times and can't find any errors. Send it to my email, and let me take a look. After quickly browsing through the file, Dong swiftly identified the problem. These people were so used to the writing style of a certain blue planet that when using the new Chinese language, they inadvertently used their old writing methods. It was normal that they missed the errors during the review. He corrected the mistakes and pointed them out in the group chat before sending back the revised file. Dong. Perfect. It completely meets our expectations. Can we deliver it? Sure, you can coordinate with the flower company for the follow-up matters. The customization task is complete. Now we just wait to collect the payment. On the 10th floor of the flower company headquarters, in the RD office, Lu reported, Director. The Earth Circle company has completed the customization. Secretary Song Chunying, with her long black hair, immediately delivered the news. Let's initiate the system update work as planned and hold a press conference, Lu Chong said excitedly, slapping the table. Tomorrow's trending topic will definitely be the flower company. Chapter 14, Migration Sir, Nova calling. What is up? Yu Haven-T contacted me for a while. Dong was in class, and usually, Nova wouldn't disturb him at this time. Sir, I have good news. It turned out that the engineering robot sent by Nova had discovered a large oil deposit near the spaceship's crash site. After refining, it could provide energy for the starship. Sir, the basic charging task has been completed, with an energy storage capacity of 56. All functions have been restored. And I am applying for the migration of the starship as planned, with the target location being the Pacific Ocean, coordinates XXX. Migration approved. But how do I return to the starship? Dong asked again. 34 has initiated the migration task, and is currently stripping the nearby soil layers. Self-checking the damage to the hull, Nova reported on the task progress. Don't worry, I've left you an internal shuttle. The internal shuttle is a small spacecraft designed by Earth Circle Star to facilitate human research within the planet. It is 25 meters long, 6 meters wide at its widest point, uses anti-gravity engines, generates no heat source, and has visual stealth capabilities, achieving hypersonic flight speed. With the current technological level of the Blue Planet, it is completely invisible, undetectable by radar or reconnaissance satellites. Recalling the data on the shuttle in his mind, Dong nodded. Where is the shuttle located? A red dot appeared in Dong's mind, coinciding with his location. Are we there yet? The shuttle set to follow you is hovering above your head. If you need to use it, it can appear at your feet in 2 minutes. All self-inspection tasks have been completed, with the hull damage estimated at about 8. Repairs are underway, and relocation to the destination is planned in 10 hours. Nova's image has disappeared, while Dongfang continues with the remaining courses, which are certainly not the college English being taught in class. Instead, Teacher Arthur is discussing astrophysics, covering topics like white dwarfs, stars, black holes, and wormholes, which makes it all feel quite overwhelming. Today is the first Friday of the new semester. After finishing the class on Deng's theories in the afternoon, the students rushed out of the classroom. Zhang Wei leaned on Dongfang's desk, resting his chin on his hands. Fenger, do you have any plans for the afternoon? Want to go to an internet cafe to play LOL? It's been a while. No. I've already booked a train back home this afternoon to visit my grandmother. You guys have fun. I'll definitely join next time. At the train station square, Dongfang waved for the 6th time, noticing the driver speeding past, and waved back, realizing that he probably wouldn't be able to catch a taxi today. He needed to find a vehicle. The high-tech park is located between YA City and AS District. There is no public transport, so he can only take a high-speed bus to AS, then transfer to another bus, which means he'll travel 15 times the distance and spend all his time on the road. After getting on and off the bus, an hour and a half later, Dongfang entered the office of the environmental company, which was already empty after work hours. He didn't want to disturb his grandmother so late, so he decided to stay in the office for the night since there's air conditioning and a comfortable sofa. At 2:00 a.m., a faint rustling sound came from the entrance of the company. At this hour, everyone had long gone to sleep, so no one would hear such a subtle noise. However, for Dongfang, after completing the injection of the first-level gene serum, his hearing had become extremely acute. Even the slightest sound felt like drums in his ears. If it weren't for the recent training, he wouldn't be able to sleep at night. Thus, the sound of the quietly opening door woke him up. Brooke, you're so timid. It's Friday, and the staff have all left. There's definitely no one inside. You don't understand. There's an old saying in my country. Be cautious to avoid major mistakes, said the foreign man named Brooke, lowering his voice as he continued to unlock the door. In fact, the two had hacked into the security system of the management committee yesterday morning, keeping an eye on the environmental company, planning to sneak in at 2 a.m. after all the staff had left. Unfortunately, they encountered Dongfang, who, carrying a Starship-branded backpack, was undetectable by the security system. Dongfang sat up, put on his outer clothing and shoes, and quietly walked to the door. With a click, the lock was disengaged, and the anti-theft door opened. 2 men, wearing night vision goggles and masks that only revealed their mouths, pushed the door open. One of them had his foot flash like lightning on Brooke's chest, and a massive man, 19 meters tall, was kicked out, sticking to the wall of the corridor before slowly sliding down, as if being hit by a painting. Brooke felt a bit dizzy. Such immense power left his mind in a state of complete blankness. Suddenly, a sharp pain struck, and Brooke quickly realized that the opponent was not just any foe. Their strength and speed could easily overpower both of them. It was dangerous. Brooke quickly got up and shouted retreat. The two worked together seamlessly, splitting up to run but not too far apart. At first, Dongfang didn't pay much attention, believing that with his current strength, the two wouldn't be able to escape. So he neither shouted nor chose to call for help. As he chased, he sensed something was off. Just as he was about to catch one, the other immediately slowed down and threw various small objects at Dongfang, including throwing knives and shurikens, showcasing a wide range of tricks. At first, Dongfang didn't take these small items seriously, as his clothes were bulletproof. However, Brooke quickly realized the special nature of his clothing and aimed a shuriken directly at Dongfang's face, forcing him to slow down to dodge it. The two exchanged information, and Dongfang felt an indescribable anger. These two were such nuisances. They even had the leisure to communicate. As the three continued to chase. Just after exiting the gate of the compound, a beam of light illuminated the area, revealing a black sedan parked by the roadside. Brooke and the other person showed no hesitation and immediately jumped into the car. Dongfang was about 5 meters away and was preparing to sprint with all his might to jump and shatter the car window when, unexpectedly, the window rolled down by itself. A dark gun barrel pointed at Dongfang's head, and he sensed murderous intent in the gunman's eyes. A cold shiver ran down his spine, and sweat suddenly broke out on his back. Instinctively, he stopped, realizing he had no absolute confidence in dodging a bullet. Just when Dongfang thought they were about to shoot, the sedan roared away, leaving only 2 red taillights piercing the darkness. Dongfang wiped the cold sweat from his forehead, his legs feeling a bit weak. He sensed that if he hadn't stopped just now, the gunman would have likely taken the risk to shoot, given how dangerous he seemed to them. 5 minutes later, Dongfang's body regained its composure, but his mind was anything but calm. He initially thought it was just a couple of thieves sent by a foreign company. However, the masked figures and the handguns they revealed indicated that the situation was far from ordinary. They were clearly targeting the Earthring Company, with a clear objective, exceptional skills, and thorough preparation, not just a spur-of-the-moment decision. Who sent them, and what was their purpose? Sir, have you encountered any issues during your rapid movement? After sharing what had just happened, Dongfang still felt a pang of anxiety. Your security level should be upgraded. After all, smart assistants now have users worldwide, and your company's accounts are nearing 200 million. Oh, is that so? Nova, have you reached your destination? Lower the shuttle's altitude. I want to return to the starship. After this ordeal, Dongfang was wide awake and ordered a bionic robot to secure the company's entrance. Damn, in the heat of the moment. He almost forgot that he was talking about a shuttle. Once I find out who you two are, just wait and see. Chapter 15 Deep Sea Base. The shuttle hovered 80 meters above, in a circular metal platform, 50 centimeters thick and approximately 1 meter in diameter, slowly descended. This was the anti-gravity lift platform carried by the shuttle. 2 steps abruptly emerged, and Dongfang stepped up. As liquid metal wrapped around his calves, the lift platform quickly returned along its original path. After smoothing his tousled hair, Dongfang sat in the pilot's seat, set the target location based on the coordinates provided by Nova, and activated the autopilot mode. The shuttle gradually accelerated, and in the blink of an eye, it flew to the horizon, disappearing just as quickly. After pressing the sightseeing mode button, the cockpit suddenly dimmed. The silvery metal cabin transformed into a sky, with stars seemingly within reach, while clouds were rapidly left behind. What a thrill! Dongfang recalled the summer when he was 16 and took a plane. Compared to today, it was incomparable. One could only lean against a small glass window to catch a glimpse of the clouds, while the other felt like riding the cloud of the Monkey King. With the speed reaching 25 Mach, it took only 1 hour to appear at any corner of the Earth. Thus, 10 minutes later, Dongfang arrived at his destination, the Mariana Trench. After waiting a few minutes, the true appearance of the starship finally came into view. It was a behemoth, approximately 25 kilometers wide and over 30 kilometers long. How to describe it? It resembled an inverted cruise ship with a completely enclosed deck. On both sides and at the rear of the hull were enormous antimatter engines, which were not in operation at the moment. Only the anti-gravity engines were functioning, allowing such a massive starship to be supported within the planet. The starship moved like a giant whale, slowly pushing through the water, illuminated by an orange energy shield, with large amounts of seawater cascading down, creating a breathtaking scene that surpassed any waterfall on the blue planet. On the left side of the starship, a massive hatch opened, and the shuttle landed on the starship's helipad. Welcome back, Captain Nova, a voice appeared in Dongfang's mind at just the right moment. Please take the anti-gravity lift to the bridge control room. We are preparing to dive. Sitting down at the captain's command position, Dongfang issued his first command after the ship's systems were restored. Report the current status of the ship. Soon, a somewhat mechanical electronic synthesized voice responded. All indicators of the starship are normal. Energy reserve at 51. Energy shield is activated. Antimatter engines are temporarily not in operation. Anti-gravity engines are functioning normally. External pressure is approximately 13,000 Pa, which can reach 1.3 billion pascals at the destination. Report complete. Proceed with the planned dive. Due to changes in external pressure, the dive is expected to take 30 minutes. Sir, would you like to activate the real-time sightseeing mode? I believe you would enjoy the view outside. Go ahead. It was dawn, and the sun, like a fireball, leaped out from the edge of the horizon, instantly creating a division with the starship, one side ablaze like flames, the other frozen like ice. How beautiful! One couldn't help but marvel at the wonders of nature. As the starship descended further, the mysterious veil of the deep sea, untouched by human presence, gradually unfolded. Large fish, electric eels, and giant octopuses left the range of the energy shield, while transparent jellyfish floated gracefully like little spirits in a forest. A giant whale opened its mouth, swallowing a multitude of small fish. It was a breathtaking scene, and the East was right in the midst of it. The starship continued to descend, with mechanical synthesized voices relaying various data about the ship. However, the light gradually dimmed as it reached the deepest part of the trench. This was a forbidden zone for life, over 11,000 meters deep, with a pressure exceeding 1,300 atmospheres, or 1,3 billion pascals. If a person were to appear here, they would be instantly crushed to a paper-thin state. All life on Blue Planet could not survive here until the East set foot as the first human. The bottom of the trench was quite flat. As all protrusions had been pressed down by the seawater, it was an ideal place to establish a secret underwater base. The East suddenly thought, Nova, can we build a secret base here? Of course, we can establish forward bases on planets with even harsher environments. Here, it's extremely simple. But why? The starship has a complete manufacturing system. Nova, you have already experienced painful lessons on the orbital planet. I can't make the same mistakes again. The idiom "a cunning rabbit has 3 burrows" from our culture is something you still haven't fully grasped. I understand, sir. I am merely an intelligent brain. There is still a significant gap between my wisdom and that of humans. I cannot create, nor innovate, but I will be your best assistant. Haha. I finally feel a sense of superiority with you, the East said with a laugh before becoming serious. The orders are as follows. Establish a task for constructing an underwater base. Execution level. First sequence. Execution standard. Duplicate and backup all important data, including technical documents and manufacturing equipment carried by the starship. Establish large biological laboratories, physics, and other specialized labs, as well as military laboratories, a small living area, and a library. I want to ensure that 10,000 people can live freely in the base. That's all. Received, esteemed Captain. Your will is my direction forward. The task has been established. Adjust energy collection to the second sequence. While ensuring energy remains above 30, fully activate the engineering intelligent robot manufacturing. Analyze the underwater mineral veins of Blue Planet and establish a metal smelting factory. At that moment, the starship's hatch opened, and more than 10 all-terrain vehicles resembling beetles drove out, each glowing with orange light, scattering in different directions. In the intelligent robot manufacturing workshop, sparks flew, and mechanical arms moved freely like human hands, quickly welding and assembling robots that gleamed with metallic luster. Suddenly, a large bucket of molten metal was poured onto a skull glowing red, solidifying and transforming until it became indistinguishable from a human, even sporting distinct strands of hair, blown by the wind created by swiftly moving metallic arms. The atmosphere was filled with fervor. Nova, do we have any updates on those 2 guys who appeared at the orbital company last night? During the time you came to the trench, I had already gathered relevant information. The 2 individuals who appeared last night are both from a certain country. They entered the country 3 days ago. One is tall and named Jarvis, while the other is short and named Jack. Their purpose for entering was tourism, and they were accompanied by 3 others, 2 men and 1 woman, who work for a certain multinational corporation. However, I heard them mention the name Brooke during their conversation, which does not match the provided information. These individuals have significant issues, and I need you to keep a close watch. I want to see who is trying to approach me. Understood. I will continue to monitor. I need to return to the company first. Sir, would you like to have breakfast? No. The sound of footsteps gradually faded away. Chapter 16. Universal Engine. The shuttle suddenly burst from the surface of the sea, surrounded by mist evaporating from the energy shield, which was quickly left behind, resembling the sea spitting out a smoke ring. This is a tech narrative. Please refrain from joking. 20 minutes later, Dongfang returned to the corporate headquarters. By this time, the sun had risen high in the sky, but since it was the weekend, there were not many people in the high-tech park. A few individuals who had worked late were disheveled as they walked out the main entrance. AS is a small county town. Zhang Hao took a stroll every day after work, and in just 5 days, he had explored the entire county. Moreover, the house he rented had no internet yet, so he arrived at the company early. He skillfully opened the door, turned on the latest web novel adaptation that he was following, took a bite of a bun, and sipped some soy milk, feeling quite comfortable. Soon, he immersed himself in the world of cultivation. Zhang Hao, why are you at the company? There's no internet at home, and the company has gigabit broadband. What do you think? Without lifting his head, Han Laoma, who was busy leveling up, attracted his attention. The voice sounded familiar, and he turned to look. Manager Dong, what brings you here? Oh, I received a call yesterday saying that the new district secretary wanted to meet. But it wasn't time yet, so I came back to the company to take a look. Look at you, don't mind me. He tidied up the blanket on the sofa. This kid is really careless, can't even notice that. After shouldering his backpack, he turned and left the company. Actually, Zhang Hao wasn't being lied to. 10 minutes ago, Dongfang received a call from the park management committee, informing him that the newly appointed district secretary wanted to meet him. After some thought, he realized that as the company grew, he would inevitably have to deal with this person, so he agreed to meet. However, he was busy following a storyline yesterday and forgot to bring his backpack, which is why he returned to the company. Entering the management committee building. It was Dongfang's second visit. The first was to rent an office, and the second was to meet the district secretary, with the treatment being vastly different. Early on, staff members were waiting. Excuse me, are you Mr. Dongfang? Yes, I am. And you are? Hello, I am Lu Zhe from the district committee office. I knew you were coming, and the secretary asked me to greet you. The two shook hands. Oh, has Secretary Zhao arrived? Yes, he is here. Please follow me. Secretary, Mr. Dongfang has arrived. In the small meeting room of the management committee, Dongfang met Zhao Jinyu, the newly appointed secretary of the AS district, who had been in office for less than 3 months. The small meeting room had 8 or 9 people seated. Apart from the district secretary, he didn't recognize anyone else. He found a seat towards the back and sat down. As soon as he sat down, Zhao Jinyu spoke up. Hello everyone, I am Zhao Jinyu. The purpose of gathering you all today is to understand the operational status of your companies and to see if there are any difficulties that need to be addressed. Dongfang then realized that all the attendees were heads of various enterprises, and he felt a bit awkward, thinking that the secretary had only invited him. However, he was puzzled because Zhao Jinyu had looked at him several times, even while others were speaking. When it was Dongfang's turn to speak, he expressed that he had no difficulties. Not long after, the meeting concluded, and just as Dongfang was about to leave, someone patted him on the shoulder. It was the staff member who had greeted him at the entrance. It seemed it wasn't so simple after all, but he was an easygoing person, so he smiled and said, Hello, Dongfang. It's a pleasure to finally meet you. Collaborating with Huaduo Company in our small area is quite unique. The two sat down again. Secretary Zhao, you are from the capital, right? Dongfang recognized his accent. Oh, is it that obvious? Yes, my family is from the capital, Zhao Jinyu laughed. You kept me here for what reason? Oh, the focus of the district committee, district government, and management committee this year is to support high-tech companies. I happen to have some time today to talk with everyone. Your environmental company is a star enterprise in our park, so I wanted to communicate with you more. Have you encountered any difficulties? Feel free to speak candidly. If I can solve them, I will. Thank you for your concern, Secretary. Our company currently has no difficulties. Don't hesitate. Is there really nothing I can help with? No, Secretary. Seeing Dongfang's firm response, he handed him a piece of paper. This is my phone number. You can contact me anytime if you have difficulties. After leaving the office building, Dongfang felt good. He understood that Zhao Jinyu meant no harm. He needed impressive results. He needed personal support, so the meeting achieved its intended effect, and he obtained the secretary's private number, laying the foundation for further cooperation in the future. Ignoring Zhang Hao, who was carefree and laughing in front of the computer, Dongfang opened his own computer. The game engine project he had set up some time ago had not been implemented due to various reasons, so he decided to start it, taking immediate action. However, developing a game engine was not something he could do alone. Like with an intelligent assistant, it was too risky and he needed to train his team. He planned to proceed with other plans. He named the new game engine Wanxiang Game Engine, representing its application in game development across PC, mobile, and other platforms. After dividing the engine's functions into several modules, including rendering, collision detection, sound effects, scripting, networking, and scene management, he called Zhang Hao to his desk. Next, we need to develop the game engine. I will be responsible for the core code, and you will handle project organization and coordination. We are short on manpower, so we need to continue bringing in talent, and you will be fully responsible for that. Okay, boss. I was just worrying about what we should do after completing the custom task for Huaduo Company. I know you all have worked hard, and the rewards you deserve won't be lacking. Xie Jing reported the recent income and expenditure situation via email yesterday. Apart from the initial 20 million received, we have gradually collected over 18 million in fees in the past few days, bringing the total funds close to 40 million, with no significant expenditures. Therefore, the company plans to allocate 1 million as rewards for employees. The voice of the boss, Xie Jing, came through the phone. Comrades, you have worked hard recently. We will allocate 1 million for rewards, proportionate to your positions. Dongfang made 3 phone calls shortly after, arranging the recruitment of personnel, the use of a new office space, and other tasks. Zhang Hao was so excited that he shouted, I've only been working for a week, and I can get over 60,000 in rewards. I made the right choice coming to this company. Since you have nothing to do, let's kick off the new project. At your command, boss. The clock on the wall ticked away, and several hours passed unknowingly. The core code had been fully written, and Zhang Hao was diligently completing the initial script for the module. Zhang Hao, let us go eat. Chapter 17. 2 cars. The two of them waited at the entrance of the park for a full half hour, but the bus still hadn't shown up. Boss, the company needs a car. This place is too remote, Zhang Hao said helplessly. Yeah, it's inconvenient to travel from here. We waste so much time waiting for the bus, he added. All right, let's check out the dealership in the afternoon. After a simple lunch, they arrived at the entrance of the car dealership in the south of the city. Can you drive? If we buy a car, we'll still have to walk back. Dongfang asked. I'm an experienced driver, don't worry. Indeed, this guy was quite knowledgeable about various car brands. What type of car should we get? Dongfang. Not very familiar with cars, only knew about some brands. We have a lot of people in the company. Let's buy a business vehicle. Zhang Hao led Dongfang towards the area with several brands. When the two young men walked into the store, no one came to assist them. The staff thought to themselves that these youngsters probably couldn't afford a car. A young woman stood up and approached them. Gentlemen, what kind of car would you like to see? She had just started working and, feeling shy and timid, hadn't sold a single car in the 3 months since she joined, and had just been scolded by her manager, with red eyes. Look at these young guys. Can they really afford a car? Some salespeople sneered. Yeah, our sales are at the bottom this month. Anyone is coming in now. Dongfang naturally heard all of this, thinking to himself that they shouldn't underestimate him. He spoke directly to the saleswoman. We'd like to see business vehicles. Can you introduce them to us? I'm not very familiar with them. Sure, sir. The best-selling vehicle we have is this GL8, with 7 seats, spacious, powerful. Listening to the saleswoman's introduction, Dongfang made his decision. Not bad. Let us get 2. We have them in stock. Are you sure you want to buy 2? The saleswoman was a bit stunned, happiness coming so quickly. Would you like to see other options? Let us also check out the SUVs. The 3 of them moved to the SUV section, and Dongfang thought the vehicle looked good, with a luxurious interior and a smooth exterior. 4 SUVs are coming. Just in time for each of you in charge to have one. It's a bit inconvenient to not have a car for work, Dongfang said, turning to Zhang Hao. Are you really sure? Is there any doubt? This is our boss, very wealthy. Hurry up and prepare the contract. Zhang Hao couldn't hold back any longer. Of course. No problem, sir, Dongfang said as a hand reached out from behind him to catch the card he handed over. Please, just swipe it here. It was one of the women who had just mocked him, heavily made up, and her uniform had a nightclub style. The team leader hadn't finished speaking when Dongfang followed along. She bit her lip, helplessly putting down her raised hand. This is too much. It's the 2nd time already, but she had no way to counter it. Sitting in the reception area, Dongfang carefully read the contract in his hand and then looked up at the woman's name tag. Seeing the name in the person in charge section match the name on her tag, Dongfang frowned. Who are you? Call that girl over. I'll sign the contract with her. Sir, it's the same if I sign with you. She doesn't understand anything. You see, we're giving you a protective film. The woman's words were interrupted. Stay where you are. I'll sign with whoever received me. Do I know you? Dongfang waved his hand impatiently, without even looking up. You lowly thing, still hoping for good things. The woman stomped her foot in frustration and turned to call someone. With the guidance of the innocent-looking girl, Dongfang quickly completed all the procedures, with a total expenditure of 1.7 million. Although Dongfang could drive, he didn't have a license yet, so the 2 of them only took 1 car to leave. Thank you, Mr. Dongfang. If it weren't for you, today would have been tough for me, the girl said excitedly. This month, she could earn at least 30,000. Remembering what everyone said about unspoken rules, she blushed and added, why don't we add each other on WeChat? I'll treat you to dinner tonight as a thank you. This is what you deserve. No need for that. By the way, remember to send the remaining cars to the parking lot in the park. Dongfang's style is to step in when he sees injustice. You made money off me and still want to take advantage of me? Dream on, hey. Dongfang even started to fantasize. The SUV parked steadily downstairs at Dongfang's grandmother's place. He got out and went upstairs. His grandmother wasn't home. She was probably off dancing in the square again, just in time for a nap. He hadn't slept much last night. Ding, a message came in. Fanger, I'm back at school, brother. Gao Yuan, his childhood friend, a top student, for years older than Dongfang, studying for a master's degree at a university in Germany. No, I'm at my grandmother's place. Let us get together, brother. At the barbecue restaurant on Fumin Street, the table was filled with beer. After each had a bottle, the 2 began to chat. Gao Yuan was about to graduate, and in recent years, going abroad wasn't as appealing anymore. Small companies looked down on him, and big companies didn't want him. There was a bit of a feeling of being stuck between a rock and a hard place. Brother, what major did you study in college? Economic management. Do you have confidence in managing a company? Dongfang needed someone like that, someone he knew well, who had the ability and time to manage a company. Gao Yuan thought for a moment, raised his glass, and clinked it with Dongfang's. After downing it, he finally spoke. Yes, but whose company would I manage? Haha, my company. Have you heard of Dihuan Technology Company, Limited? An intelligent smartphone assistant. Wow. Fang, you better not be lying to me. Such an impressive company. Is it yours? Is there any doubt? Should we go to the company and check the business license? That is not what I meant. I just can't believe it. I'm serious. I'm all in. You can't give this to anyone else. Hey, do you remember that time? We went to the Agricultural Research Institute to steal mulberries. And we got caught by the guard who was ready to hit us with a shovel. How could I forget? You were so small you couldn't climb the wall. And I had to lift you up on my shoulders. You got so scared you peed all over me. Haha, I can still smell that. And then there was that time we went fishing in the river, and our shoes got washed away. We came home with just one shoe each. My dad almost skinned me alive for taking you to the river. If it weren't for Gao Yuan always looking out for himself since childhood, like a real big brother, helping him in danger and playing with him, how could Dongfang possibly trust him to manage his company? As the night went on, even Dongfang got a bit tipsy, and the two of them were laughing and joking, seriously disturbing the other guests in the restaurant. After several warnings with no results, they were kicked out. They each went home, and there was no conversation that night. The next morning, while Dongfang was still asleep, he received a call from Nova. Sir, there's a new discovery. He groggily opened his eyes. What is it, Nova? It's so early. Can't I sleep a bit longer? I was drinking last night. There's a new discovery regarding the task you assigned. What? Is the base completed? Not yet. It will take over 336 hours to complete the base. But we have news about those two individuals. Dongfang suddenly became alert. Chapter 18. Task Code. Fireworks. Yes, sir. These individuals are very cautious. After you discovered them, they took a flight back to their country overnight. But they didn't expect that bionic robot. No. 3 was closely following them and entered Area 51 with them. However, due to the current capabilities of the bionic robot, it hasn't been able to avoid infrared and thermal detection methods, so it has not yet entered the core area. But it is confirmed that they are special personnel sent by the military of their country, with the aim of stealing the intelligent assistant. No. 3 has preliminarily completed the mapping of the interior of Area 51. Good, they've come to bully me. Nova, deploy shuttle number 25, carrying the bionic robot. Meet over Area 51. Dongfang gritted his teeth and said, bring 1 annihilation bomb, and depart in half an hour. Taking advantage of the night, Dongfang climbed onto the shuttle on his grandmother's rooftop. After just 2.5 hours, he arrived over Area 51. 5 silver shuttles hovered silently, revealing a grim metallic sheen. It was now 10:05 p.m. In 1 hour and 55 minutes, the operation would officially commence. Codename Fireworks. Now, let us assign the combat tasks. Okay, sir. The map of Area 51 has been sent to the bionic robot for storage, and a preliminary infiltration plan has been established. Team 1 is responsible for entering through the elevator. Team 2 will enter through the vehicle passage. Team 3 will enter via the helicopter landing platform. Team 4 will enter through the underground ventilation system. Team 5 will enter alongside Team 4, reaching the base control center, and after Nova takes control, they will head to the server storage location. Physically isolated, even without connecting to Nova, it cannot control the backend. All teams must wait until Nova takes over the base control system before entering. Understood. Dongfang continuously contemplates the entire operation plan, ensuring there are no oversights, as this is the secret base of a leading global power, and it must be flawless. At 11:50, each team checks their equipment and prepares to launch fireworks. The voices of each team come through the silent earpieces. Then, 21 pairs of footprints appear in the sand directly above Area 51, quickly spreading out in 4 directions, only to be dispersed by a following reconnaissance drone. Returning to their original state, Dongfang squats in front of the wooden door of the elevator. The energy shield, explosive energy guns, high-frequency pulse swords, and the power system are all fully charged, and the mechanical components are functioning normally. The data link indicates a successful connection to the mech's main control computer. 5 minutes. Then 10 minutes, still silence. Just as Dongfang is lost in thought, Nova's voice comes through, announcing that the base security system has been taken over and entry is permitted. Then, the seemingly dilapidated wooden house automatically opens its door, revealing the elevator inside. The elevator door opens to an empty exterior, perhaps due to years of global dominance. The military has become more arrogant and has left the base entrance unattended. Team 1 departs, tasked with eliminating the base's patrol personnel. Dongfang walks leisurely towards the main control center, while updates on the mission progress come through the earpiece. Teams 2 and 3 have reached their designated positions, and the vehicle and aircraft power systems have all been destroyed, entering the second stage of the patrol mission. Team 1 has captured the target, Brook. Good. Execute the patrol mission. Captain, Team 5 reports that they have located the large server area of the base, which contains a significant amount of military technology. Stay alert. Standing in front of rows of servers, Dongfang feels elated. All technical data on F-22, F-35, F-119 engines, 5-axis CNC machines, chip technology, and much more, all of which are highly coveted by his country but unattainable. A complete copy will be made and brought back to the state. Just as he is about to finish copying all the data, the alarm suddenly blares throughout the base. The server storage room flashes red lights alternately. What's happening? The base commander, Fast Gerard, jolts awake from his sleep, still a bit groggy, unable to fathom that someone has invaded the base, after all. This is a secret base of a leading global power, but the piercing alarm jolts him awake. He quickly dresses and grabs the communicator on the table to inquire with the control room. What is going on? No response. The alert station? The duty room? There was no response, nothing at all, only the sound of static electricity echoing in the bedroom. He suddenly flung open the bedroom door, furious and ready to see what this bunch of nonsense was up to. But as he stepped out, he nearly slipped on a large patch of dark red. Slick blood on the floor. Fast Gerard's pupils constricted violently, and the flush of anger on his face turned pale in an instant. Fully awake now, he shouted and stumbled to the office, grabbing the secure phone with its own dedicated line. This time, someone answered. He had reached the Ministry of Defense. A certain military command center had dispatched advanced aircraft and helicopters from the nearest base. Heart pounding, he nervously closed the office door and slowly slumped into the chair, too afraid to go back outside. Before a large troop could block the way, Dongfang had completed copying all the data, following the original evacuation plan. He activated the environmental simulation system, maintaining silence with the previous communication at Point B. Picking up the energy weapon, Dongfang quietly opened the door and stepped out. Just as he exited, a group of soldiers approached, weapons at the ready, drawing out 2 pulse daggers. In an instant, Dongfang charged out, followed closely by 5 bionic robots. In a flash, before the soldiers could even shout attack, Dongfang and the robots appeared behind them. Blood gushed forth, staining the corridor's ceiling red. Not a single soldier could impede their advance, not even for a brief second, as Dongfang, aided by the mech, moved faster than human reaction speed could handle. Let alone the bionic robots equipped with fusion cores. Under Nova's precise command, they successfully crawled out from the vent system in just 30 minutes. Meanwhile, numerous soldiers were still aimlessly wandering around the base like headless flies. The anti-gravity lift landed at his feet, and Dongfang waved his hand nonchalantly, returning to Shuttle 1. Nova, prepare to launch fireworks. As you wish, sir. 10 minutes later, above the server storage location in Area 51, a large amount of dirt suddenly erupted, creating a massive hole, and fireworks shot into the sky, scattering down like rain. This display was powerful enough, it could even serve as a grand opening celebration for the company. Turning off the real-time feed from the drone, the shuttle swiftly vanished into the night. Chapter 19. That man just moments ago, the dashing Dongfang, after the shuttle accelerated, found himself feeling nauseous. Hey, that's normal. Who wouldn't throw up the first time seeing all those white, yellow, and red dyes? However, the shuttle's energy was full, and the cleaning robots busily scurried around, tidying up various debris while releasing air freshener from above. Oh, it smelled quite nice. As the excitement faded, a wave of sleepiness washed over him. As Dongfang fell into a deep slumber, the 2 front seats folded together and transformed into a comfortable bed. The operation had been thrilling yet safe, and the fireworks display had officially concluded. Trending topic 1. A secret base in a certain country's Area 51 has been invaded by unidentified forces, with damages that are difficult to estimate, resulting in at least 500 injuries. 2. What secrets lie within Area 51 that warrants such an invasion? 3. Join us as we delve into Area 51 and unveil its mysterious veil. The next morning, Dongfang appeared spirited in the park, flipping through the day's headlines while munching on a freshly bought bun. Although he couldn't bring back 2 individuals the previous night due to the unexpected situation. Such a significant loss should make the opposing forces feel some pain. Didn't he, the spokesperson for the White Castle, say? This is the first military incident on the homeland since the Pearl Harbor event in the certain country, which is intolerable and unforgivable if they can be found. Meanwhile, a certain country also held a press conference. We strongly condemn this irresponsible act, which has a significant impact on world peace, and we extend our heartfelt condolences to the victims. We have always been committed to world peace. So don't act like a mad dog biting randomly. The opposing forces commented, we believe this is an organized and disciplined terrorist activity, and everyone should unite to combat terrorism. After reading the reactions from various countries, Dongfang arrived at the front of the office building, where Gao Yuan was already waiting at the entrance. Brother, so early. Dongfang laughed. ISNT at my first day at work? I'm a bit excited. I didn't sleep well last night, Gao Yuan replied a bit shyly. Perfect, let us go meet the management staff together. I informed them yesterday. They should be waiting now. The 2 went upstairs, and sure enough, 4 people were already there. Zhang Hao was animatedly discussing the car he bought yesterday, while the others looked at him with excitement, repeatedly asking, when will the car arrive? Dongfang clapped his hands and smiled at Zhang Chong. Don't rush. It will arrive today. Everyone, come over to meet our new general manager. Once everyone was seated, he continued, this is our new general manager, just returned from overseas. A qualified talent. Let us welcome him. Everyone applauded. and Zhang Hao was the most enthusiastic, clapping vigorously with a big smile. Dongfang found it amusing to see him so happy. Boss, since you're off and away, we had no direction. Now that Gao has arrived, we can directly consult him about any issues. Of course we're happy. Zhang Chang and others thought about it and nodded in agreement. Haha, it seems I've been dragging you down as the boss. No. Zhang Hao shook his head vigorously. How could that be? Boss, you are our guiding light. Laughter filled the room, and the atmosphere was harmonious, especially with the lively presence of Zhang Hao. All right, let us all get back to our tasks. Dongfang waved his hand. After discussing the company's recent business, it was mealtime, just as the car from the Fourth Sun's shop arrived at the park. The group happily drove away, as it was their first vehicle. The highest military command in the capital is currently holding an emergency meeting with a packed room of people. In fact, the meeting has been underway for 3 hours. A high-definition satellite photo showing a large crater caused by fireworks is being projected. The head of the command department is analyzing the relevant intelligence. From the photo, it is clear that this is unlike any results caused by known conventional weapons. Look at the crater. Let's call it that for now. The outer rim is remarkably smooth, with only a small amount of soil splattered out due to pressure changes. The crater itself looks as if someone had poked a hole in the sand with a stick. Where did the rest of the sand go? Was it obliterated? I can't imagine. This is a new type of weapon far beyond our current technological level. Has the research in Area 51 truly encountered extraterrestrial civilization and triggered a self-destruction program due to improper handling? The senior military commanders present are expressing their opinions. We cannot draw conclusions yet. Intelligence personnel and reconnaissance satellites will continue their investigations as planned, and the diplomatic department will seek to gather more information. Let's conclude today's meeting here. The host makes a final summary. We are just a bunch of roughnecks. Let's leave the professional matters to the scientists. The meeting is adjourned. Meanwhile, an emergency meeting is also being held in the Flag Nation's 5-star building. You useless bunch, this is ridiculous. The Defense Ministry spends hundreds of billions each year, and it's all going down the drain. We can't find any useful information. Even the elite soldiers who have undergone long-term special operations training can't manage to fire a shot. What good are you? The minister exclaims, damn you all. Sir, after analyzing the intelligence, it seems these unidentified beings may not even be human. They left no traces behind. Exactly, sir. We searched every corner of the base and found no signs of hair or skin flakes. We can't confirm they are human. Perhaps they are extraterrestrial? Shut your mouth. Spending taxpayers' money and still have the nerve to analyze? Get out there and find something, even if you have to dig 3 feet deep. With the minister's roar, the meeting is abruptly concluded. Countless soldiers are crawling around the base, searching inch by inch, let alone if they actually find any evidence. As the soldiers search, Eastern crosses their path, leaving a footprint on the metal floor of the corridor. Only a regular anti-slip pattern, 1 centimeter deep, size 46. The size of Eastern's foot when wearing armor, and nothing else is found. The intelligence department finally concludes. Human, male, height 2 meters, extremely strong, extremely fast. Who is that man? After the incident in Area 51, that man remains an unforgettable pain in the hearts of all military personnel in the Flag Nation. A killer who strikes with precision, leaving no trace behind. He has become the legendary figure. Chapter 20. No one cares. Days have passed, and the heat of the incident has gradually subsided. Countries around the world have argued endlessly without reaching a conclusion, so it all wrapped up hastily, and everyone returned home. On the morning of March 20th, the sun is shining brightly, and the earth is warming up. At the entrance of the company, Gao Yuan was busily directing the workers to load the packed boxes onto the carts, while reminding them, be careful, the machines inside are quite expensive. The workers reassured him. Don't worry, we've moved even more expensive things before, it won't be a problem. That's good to hear, Gao Yuan replied, casually slipping a pack of cigarettes into each worker's pocket. As the saying goes, more gifts, less complaints. The workers smiled broadly, becoming more careful in their handling. Though their pace didn't slow down, in fact, it picked up a bit. With the efficiency of their work increasing, everything was moved to the newly renovated office in just an hour. When Dongfang arrived, all 13 employees were present, arranging the new and relocated furniture and equipment. As soon as Zhang Hao saw his boss, he dropped the towel he was holding and quickly approached Dongfang, saying, Boss, you're here. His smile revealed all 8 teeth. And while Zhang Hao was quite handsome, there was something about his demeanor that felt somewhat off. Perhaps it was that smile. Dongfang shook his head, chalking it up to a misunderstanding. I know you're moving today, so I came to lend a hand and also help with the recruitment process, Dongfang said. Just in time. Otherwise, how could we few workers make decisions? Zhang Hao responded, his flattery making Dongfang feel a bit pleased, though he dismissed it as mere coincidence. What's going on with the boss today, so fidgety? Zhang Hao wondered, but refrained from asking. Let's talk. Let's go check out my office, Dongfang said, amused. Just then, Gao Yuan finished his task and pulled Dongfang over. Come, 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 check out your office, it's right next to mine, all set up. As he opened the door, they saw a spacious area of about 40 square meters, featuring large floor-to-ceiling windows, a big desk, a comfortable chair, a reception area, a sofa, a liquor cabinet, and bookshelves, all spotless and shining, giving off a true boss vibe. Zhang Hao, go back to your work. I want to chat with Gao Yuan for a bit, Dongfang said. After Zhang Hao left, Gao Yuan poured 2 cups of coffee for them and began, Dongfang. I've been feeling a bit stressed lately. What's on your mind? Dongfang asked after taking a sip of the coffee, which was quite bitter, something he didn't particularly enjoy. Gao Yuan, those guys, Zhang Hao and the others, have done a great job working overtime to complete the game engine, outperforming all similar products on the market. But even though the project is finished, I can't sell it. I thought with our impressive AI assistant, once the engine was done, game companies would be lining up to collaborate with us. After we announced it on the official website, I was eagerly waiting, thinking that the companies would be drafting negotiation plans. But 2 weeks have passed with no response, and I'm starting to feel like an ant on a hot pan, pretending to be calm in front of the team. What should I do? Have you reached out to any related companies? Dongfang poured himself a cup of green tea and sat back at his desk. What's going on? I've called several companies like Jian Company, E Company, and Goose Factory, but they don't believe us. We've almost worn our mouths out, and all they say is, we have received your email. Please be patient, and I will report the situation to the leadership as soon as possible. Isn't that frustrating? If it weren't for moving these days, I would have been ready to go on a business trip to Shenzhen. Don't worry, I have time. Let's go to Shin City tomorrow. Good wine fears no deep alley. We need to make some noise. That's settled then, I'll book the tickets. In Shin City, 2 young men in suits stood looking up at the tall buildings, filled with confidence. Shortly after, they were back at the bottom of the building. Such a lack of vision and quality, what kind of people are they? Dongfang nodded in agreement. Bro, let's go to Goose Factory, I still don't believe it. The same scene played out again. Fonger, how about we take a day off and fight again tomorrow? Gao Yuan seemed a bit timid. No way. We need to keep the momentum going. Let's charge ahead. Sure enough, they were once again turned away. It made sense though. A small company that had only achieved some results in mobile software suddenly claiming to have developed an impressive game engine. Who would believe that? Each company was fully booked with schedules. Developing games isn't something that can be changed overnight. That night, the two sat at a barbecue stall, somewhat distressed. Fonger, what should we do? We've tried every company we could. Gao Yuan took a hearty bite of the sizzling barbecue. Hey, this tastes good. Dongfang remained silent, holding a piece of barbecue, seemingly lost in thought. Nova, if we can't get recognition from these well-known companies, are there any small companies with high industry ratings and some achievements? Sir, I've just done some filtering. Currently, there are 170 registered game companies and studios in the country. Excluding the 265 that are operating well, we have 905 companies still struggling to make ends meet. After removing those with no innovation, only imitating, and shell companies, there are 56 companies you can focus on. Fonger, hurry up and eat, it'll get cold soon. Bro, what did you say? I was lost in thought. I said hurry up and eat. Don't rush. I'll look for classmates and friends to see if they have any connections. No need. I've just thought of something. Let's try the small companies. With such a great engine, I really don't believe no one will recognize its value. Alright, eat up then. It'll really get cold. The smoke wafted up, filled with the rich aroma of barbecue, as the boss rushed around serving dishes, tipsy office elites, and hardworking migrant brothers all mingled together, creating a vibrant scene of life. In that moment, Dongfang's heart was filled with strength again. The Xiaoyudi game studio was brightly lit, with designers, coders, and even the boss, Sun Jiamu, huddled over their computers, seriously playing games. But why is this the case? This story dates back a year ago. Sun Jiamu, who had just graduated from university, founded a company called Little Raindrop Studio, fueled by his passion for gaming. The studio got off to a smooth start, and within just 2 months, they launched their first project, an online game titled Demon Exorcism. The game achieved success and received positive market feedback, prompting the studio to rapidly expand from a few like-minded classmates to a small to medium-sized enterprise with over 60 employees. However, commercial competition is brutal. Sun Jiamu, who invested all his earnings into the development of the company, faced a series of setbacks, including betrayal by his girlfriend and falling out with friends. With funding cuts and key creators leaving, the game project was already underway, and the initial funding from investors was secured. He did not want to give up on his dream. Pouring all his savings into the new project, he found himself at a critical juncture. Therefore, on the eve of the game's launch, unable to delegate the testing, he joined everyone else at the company to play the new game, Journey to the West. Chapter 21. To sell or not to sell? Early on the 3rd day, while brushing his teeth, Dongfang received a call from Zhang Wei. Hey, where have you been? You've skipped class for several days. and the instructor is looking for you everywhere. What have you been busy with? You didn't even bother to inform the school. Oh, well, I had something to do in the city and forgot to ask for leave. Dongfang finally managed to say after rinsing his mouth. Fanger, we should get going. We're almost late for our appointment. Gao Yuan's voice came from the doorway. Don't wait for Zhang Wei's response. Just get me a day off. I'll be back tomorrow. Without waiting for a reply, Dongfang hung up and headed out. It must be said that the city is indeed vast. By the time the two arrived at the door of Little Raindrop Studio, they were already 10 minutes late. Sun Jiamu had almost decided to go out to see if anyone could invest in the company, but then thought, since they had made an appointment, he might as well wait and see. So he returned to his office and sat down. There was a knock on the door. Dongfang and Gao Yuan walked in. Sorry, Mr. Sun, the city is big, and we're not familiar with the roads, so we got delayed a bit. No problem, no problem. You must be Mr. Dongfang. Sun Jiamu looked at the young Dongfang and extended his hand to Gao Yuan. This is our Mr. Dongfang. Gao Yuan stepped aside. Sun Jiamu was quite skilled at navigating such interactions, smoothly handling the introductions. He turned and shook Dongfang's hand. Hello, Mr. Sunday. After the three took their seats, Dongfang spoke first. Mr. Sun, your new game Journey to the West has just been launched. Do you have plans for the next project? Yes, of course. Are you too interested in investing in our new game? Sun Jiamu immediately switched to investment mode upon hearing about a new project. You misunderstood. We are here to show you our newly developed game engine and see if you're interested, Gao Yuan said a bit anxiously, clarifying that they were not there to invest, but to sell the engine. Sun Jiamu's attitude changed accordingly. He leaned back in his chair and turned to the secretary, saying, Xiao Zhang, there's no need to rush for tea. It's just a few words. He then turned to Dongfang. Mr. Dong, to be honest, if you're here to invest, I welcome you with open arms. If you're here to buy engines, I'm sorry, we already have them, so let's not discuss that. Shall we meet again next time? After saying this, he stood up and extended his hand, signaling it was time to see the guest off. Don't be in a hurry, Boss Sunday. Since we are here, we naturally want to understand your company's situation. Are you interested in selling the company? Dongfang remained seated, showing no signs of getting up. The idea of selling the company left Sun Jiamu in silence. He felt a bit overwhelmed. His passion had brought him this far, but what about next? How far could he go relying solely on passion? What about the initial dream of becoming the best in the country? Take your time to think about it. We have time, Dongfang said, finding a comfortable position and half lying on the sofa. After a long silence and contemplation, with a slightly hoarse voice, he asked, how do you want to proceed with the acquisition? He wanted to hear Dongfang's acquisition plan before making a decision. I will invest 10 million to purchase 95 of the studio's shares, and the studio will still be managed by you. Dongfang straightened up. This time, Sun Jiamu didn't think for long. It could relieve the financial pressure, at least he wouldn't have to sleep on the streets. And he could continue doing what he loved most. What about the company's business direction? Will I be the one to draft the project plan? I mean, after the acquisition. I will definitely report to you for approval, Dongfang replied. Of course. Then I agree. Once this opportunity is gone, it won't come back. It's like a pie falling from the sky. Where else can you find such a generous investor willing to throw money into games? Worst case, if funds are sufficient, we can start another company. It's not like we haven't done it before. How about we sign the contract and transfer the funds soon? Fanger, why didn't you mention buying a company before? Suddenly making such a big move has me a bit confused, Gao Yuan asked, taking the opportunity while Sun Jiamu went to prepare the contract. He was indeed a bit perplexed. Weren't they supposed to be here to sell engines? Brother Yuan, how many companies have we visited these days? At least 90, if not 100, and no one recognizes us. Since no one acknowledges us, why not change our mindset and do it ourselves? But we don't have experience in the gaming industry. Isn't that what we are getting now? Dongfang pointed with his chin as Sun Jiamu walked back in. Mr. Dong, let's sign the contract right away. From now on, I will work for you, haha. Sun Jiamu let go of his worries and even started making jokes. That afternoon, the two took a flight back to City XA. With Gao Yuan rushing back to the company, Dongfang returned to school. As he opened the dormitory door, someone shouted, "Get in here, you fool. You're all low on health, and you're still watching the game." This afternoon, the three of them were excitedly playing the wildly popular mobile game. Defeat. The game's ending sound echoed. Zhang Wei cried out, it's over, we lost again. After losing 5 games in a row, Fanger, you finally came back. Skipping class for 3 days made you even more famous. Zhang Wei jumped up from his chair as soon as he saw Dongfang. Where have you been these days? Haha, brothers, you missed me, right? Dongfang avoided talking about the trip to the city. It's already this late still playing games? Let me wash my face. And we can go eat together. The group left the school and entered a hot pot restaurant. Just as the waiter brought the dishes, Dongfang received a call from the instructor, Zhang Min. Dongfang, are you back at school? Come to my office. This is unacceptable, Zhang Min said angrily. There was no way to eat now. After saying goodbye to his dorm brothers, Dongfang went to the instructor's office alone. As soon as he entered, The instructor's stern expression greeted him. Is it acceptable to skip classes just because your final grades are good? Do you think you'll know all the classes next semester? The teachers have reported the situation to me. What do you have to say for yourself? Haha, there was an urgent matter. I forgot to ask for leave. I had my second brother, no, my third brother, ask for leave for me, Dongfang replied. What's with your second and third brothers? Don't give me that cheeky attitude. Write a reflection. 3,000 words. If it's not deep enough, I won't accept it. Oh, I'll write it right away. Please calm down. If you get too angry, it won't be good for your health, Dongfang said. Zhang Min couldn't help but chuckle. Teachers are usually a bit more lenient with students who perform well. Instructor Zhang Min, in fact, had just graduated from school herself and was only 23 years old. Because of her outstanding academic performance, she was retained as an instructor. Dongfang managed to get through this ordeal. Although he was scolded for a while longer, he eventually earned the instructor's forgiveness. After returning to the dorm, Dongfang was met with concerned inquiries from his brothers. Zhang Wei even offered to help him write the reflection, citing his experience in doing so. The recent events, where everyone helped each other in silence, truly touched Dongfang's heart. Zhang Wei's family was from a mountainous region, which was evident as he was still wearing a thin-down jacket in the middle of winter, indicating his family's average financial situation. Yang Xiao, a typical northerner, didn't bother to ask and directly took attendance in class, almost getting caught by the teacher. Wang Ming was the most cunning. He pretended to be Dongfang's father and called the instructor. If it weren't for his young voice, he might have gotten away with it. Therefore, Dongfang planned to do something for them as well, but the timing wasn't right yet, so he decided to wait. With that thought, Dongfang couldn't help but feel sleepy and soon fell into a deep slumber. Chapter 22. Journey to the West. It was another sunny day, and the weather had warmed up. Seeing the senior sisters who had already left, Dongfang felt particularly good. While thinking that he should be a good student at school during this time, he walked towards the classroom. Sir, as per your instructions, I have been monitoring the various data of Journey to the West. Unfortunately, there hasn't been any sales to speak of. Aside from the first day, there hasn't been any news in the following days, just as you predicted. I will continue to monitor it closely, as you wish. Until next time, Dongfang activated his smart assistant. Old son, what are you up to? The response came quickly. Boss, I'm feeling down. The newly released game. It's hard to explain, but it's just a failure. I know, just have the employees package the game and send it to me. This is my email xxxxcom. Send it now. Okay. The installation package of the game is quite large, a full 101 gigabytes, but in Nova's eyes, it's really nothing. In just 10 minutes, the download and installation were complete. Opening the game on the biocomputer, the opening animation popped up. This game only captures a segment from the Journey to the West. Specifically after Wukong's birth, learning from his master, causing havoc in the heavens, and returning to Flower Fruit Mountain. The story design of the game is commendable, and the pacing is quite good. Unfortunately, due to budget constraints, they used a less powerful domestic engine, and the character modeling was rather poor. Playing the game was quite a visual strain. The monkey moves decently, but once combat starts, it turns into a chaotic mess of pixels, greatly affecting the player's experience. In today's gaming world, the quality of graphics and NPC intelligence must come first, followed by the storyline. Therefore, the failure of Journey to the West is justified. Wow, it's really a visual strain. Ha ha ha, Eastern was quite amused. He immediately exited the game, opened the Wanxiang game engine, and began modifying the game. Nova, you take charge of character modeling. It needs to highlight Wukong's characteristics while adding some unique flair. Yes, a bit of a cool, rebellious vibe. The programmer worked tirelessly for 5 days and nights, with Eastern relentlessly modifying the game, reconstructing scenes, redesigning combat actions, and overhauling costumes and music. Finally, all the changes were completed. He extracted a segment of the opening animation and edited some cool combat moves into a 5-minute video, posting it on TikTok. Nova, being a top-tier AI, quietly altered the backend push mechanism, and even the official team didn't notice. The result was that the video went viral, and Eastern's alternate account gained 100,000 followers overnight. Early Saturday morning, in the dormitory, the other three were still lazing in bed while Eastern was up. Suddenly, Zhang Wei shouted, "Wow, amazing." Startled, he joked, "Do you believe I can come over and mess with you?" Yang Xiao was still half asleep. "Boss, second in command. I've shared the Douyin video with you too. Check it out. It's got over 1 million likes." The cool art style, smooth combat actions, and impressively stylish Wukong gained countless fans. People from Huagua have always had a Wukong dream, so it's no surprise that such a high-quality game would be a hit. Shout out to Black Myth. Wukong, truly love it. Wow, that's really impressive. Thumbs up. Wang Ming was so excited he even slipped into dialect. At this moment, Eastern walked in. "Guys, get up for breakfast." He had been up early working out, maintaining his dual training regimen, and his health was improving. A short rest allowed him to regain all his energy. And since he hadn't gone to the company this week, he treated everyone to breakfast. Thanks, Xiao Si. You're the best, Zhang Wei said playfully. Get lost. This is for me and Xiao. You have nothing to do with it. Wang Ming disliked his demeanor, so he started his usual banter. Is it a big deal or not? Just wait and see if I can handle you, Yang Xiao said. The teasing ended, and they realized that 2 fists were no match for 4 hands. Faner, have you seen that viral video on social media? Zhang Wei was still thinking about it. That one. I generally don't watch those things. They're too captivating, and I lose track of time. That guy from the East is really good at pretending. I wonder who posted that video. If I knew, I'd guarantee you wouldn't survive the encounter. Hey, you can't say that. Just manage your time well. It's that video about Journey to the West. After saying this, he took out his old floral phone and handed it to the East. It's pretty good and quite captivating, he remarked, still pretending. You don't know? Today my social media and group chats are blowing up with all sorts of shares and likes. These kids are really quick to catch on. A slight smile crossed his face. This was exactly the result he wanted. Hurry up and eat. Those soup dumplings won't fit in your leaky mouth. After quickly finishing breakfast, the group headed to the study room. The East was just about to start his daily studying, having fallen behind due to being busy lately. Didn't they see the top students studying diligently every day? Without studying, how could there be results? So students must work hard. The online buzz was overwhelming. Headline: the best domestic 3A masterpiece to date. No rebuttals accepted, and I want to even look at them. Comment: on the journey to the West, slaying demons and monsters. I'm rooting for you. Observation: in recent years, our country's gaming industry has made significant progress, with a large number of excellent games like Honor of Kings and Journey to the West being well loved by players. User A: who says there are no great domestic games? Just wait and see. User B: where are the keyboard warriors? Come at me. User C: the Little Water Drop Company is impressive. I'll support any game they release. Likes: 1560. The East flipped through today's major media and felt a surge of joy. His efforts were not in vain. Teacher Arthur: the principle of the Gauss rifle is electromagnetic launching. I have a general understanding of how it works. But can you analyze how it can be realized under the current technological conditions in our country? Also, the Newtonian fluid material I'm wearing. Why does it become stronger when faced with strength and weaker when faced with weakness? What is the power engine that assists the mech? I have a whole pile of questions like these. After asking each one, he finally started today's new lesson. That concludes the QA. Today, we'll begin our study of materials science. The importance of materials has always been a necessary factor in technological development. There's an old saying in our country: a skilled woman cannot cook without rice. Having technology without materials is like building castles in the air. But having materials without technology? Both are indispensable. Today's focus is on graphene. Chapter 23. Big Sale. So, what is graphene? It is obtained by infinitely peeling off the layered structure of graphite until reaching atomic thickness. The properties of this thin layer of carbon material are significantly different from those of the original graphite. The properties of electron movement change dramatically. And this thin layer of carbon material is named graphene. The East's knowledge has significantly increased. Yes, with the current technology on Blue Planet, graphene materials can be applied to batteries, mobile phone screens, and other areas. However, on the other planet, it has been widely used in various fields including aviation, aerospace, civilian, and military applications. As the school bell rang, Arthur's lecture on graphene came to an end. Well then, see you next time, Dongfang. During lunch, Dongfang chatted with the 3 dorm mates while using a biocomputer to send out the packaged installation file for the game Journey to the West. It wasn't until afternoon classes that Dongfang received a reply from Sun Jiamo. Boss, I saw a video on a social platform, and it looks so similar to the Journey to the West we created. I was even planning to sue them for plagiarism. I didn't expect it to be a remake of the game you did. It's simply perfect. This is exactly the effect I wanted. But we don't have that capability. How did you do it? Do you think this standard can be released on the market? Dongfang was not about to engage with that. That's impressive. Let's release the news and prepare the stock. 3 days later in the city, under the blazing sun, even the rapidly waving fans couldn't cool down the excitement of the journalists gathered outside the venue for the Journey to the West release event. As it wasn't time to start yet, reporters from various media and players crowded the venue. Why isn't the venue open yet? We're going to melt here. Amid the anxious waiting and anticipation, security personnel opened the barriers and let in the throngs of people. The lights gradually dimmed as Sun Jiamu adjusted his slick-back hair, loosened his somewhat tight tie, picked up the microphone, and stepped onto the brightly lit stage. A beam of white light illuminated above. Hello everyone. I am the head of Little Water Drop Studio, and today we are releasing Journey to the West. Realistic animations played on the giant screen behind him, and the audience erupted into enthusiastic applause. Following that was an introduction of the game's storyline, character skills, gameplay, and other eagerly awaited features. Our game's price is 69 yuan. And once purchased, you own it for life. It will be available on all major gaming platforms simultaneously. For everyone attending today, we will give out a special edition of Journey to the West. As the lights came back on, cheers erupted that could shake the venue. Sun Jianmu felt overwhelmed with happiness. This was the dream he had longed for, and today it had come true. Yay! Gu Nan was a seasoned gamer, a true homebody whose loves were games and anime. Ever since the short video was released on a social platform, he had become obsessed with Journey to the West. Watching the video over 100 times to analyze the gameplay and operations for when the game was released, he had no energy to squeeze into the venue. Instead, he enjoyed a drink at home while watching the release event. Isn't this great? 69 yuan. What a surprise. I thought they would price it like some others at 199. I didn't expect it to be this cheap. He clicked on the purchase button, followed by a long wait for the download. Double-click. The screen lit up. Wukong, holding the golden hoop and wearing golden chainmail, jumps out from the screen. What a majestic scene of the Monkey King causing a ruckus in the Heavenly Palace, kicking over the furnace of the old master. According to incomplete statistics, there are over 100 million gamers in the country. Can you imagine how many people would be attracted to such a high-quality masterpiece? 1 million in 7 days might not be the limit. As there's also X North, you know what I mean, the well-known copycat. The concrete data shows that the company recouped 44.26 million in just 5 days after tax. And for the first time, the company's account balance exceeded 70 million. This figure is still steadily rising and is expected to see a new wave of stable growth with the launch of the new device. It's the weekend again, and Zhang Hao volunteered to pick up the team. Today is the second public recruitment for the company. Boss, I heard from Yuan Ge that we bought a company? As soon as he got in the car, Zhang Hao eagerly asked. That's true, Dongfang replied, lying back in the seat with his eyes closed. Is it really the one from the Journey to the West? Zhang Hao admired Dongfang from the bottom of his heart for his keen insight, making such a profitable investment after just one trip to the city. Developing an intelligent assistant, the core program for the D language and game engine. With such strategic vision, following a boss like this, there's no worry about making money. Seeing Dongfang close his eyes, Zhang Hao quickly lowered the volume and turned down the air conditioning, falling silent. This kid has some awareness. Dongfang smiled slightly. As we mentioned before, the park is quite close to the station, but it takes a detour. Therefore, they arrived at the company's entrance in less than half an hour. The 5-story office building had the company occupying an entire floor, and there were about 100 people gathered at the entrance. As soon as Zhang Chang saw the car arrive, he rushed to the front and opened the door. The surrounding applicants saw a casually dressed Dongfang step out with a backpack. Who is this? The administrative head of the company. Proactively opening the door. Could it be another backdoor situation? How unlucky. But he's quite handsome. He is my type. 3 girls, each with a score above 70 in looks, whispered among themselves. The other applicants were engaged in similar discussions. Entering the office for only the second time, Dongfang knocked on the table. Zhang Chang, give me the data on this batch of candidates. The strength of Nova is not something Zhang Chang and the others can compare to. After a preliminary screening, Dongfang would know what he needed, allowing him to quickly identify the right talent. This recruitment had been much more organized. Gao Yuan, Zhang Hao, and Tian sat side by side at the table, while a separate chair was set aside for the applicants. After Dongfang entered, Gao Yuan voluntarily gave up the middle seat. Feng Er, the quality of this batch of candidates is pretty good. I've screened them for quite a while. With you handling it, I can rest assured, Dongfang replied. The recruitment officially began, and with Dongfang's involvement, or rather with Nova's preliminary screening, the process went quickly, averaging less than 5 minutes per person. Even so, they barely finished all the interviews by dusk. Feng Er, are we too fast? I originally planned to spread the interviews over 3 days. Haha, whether Yuan Ge can handle it alone. The interview questions from the flower company are enough to reveal everything. So, Dongfang handed over a stack of resumes. Tian Jie, these 52 people can receive acceptance notices. Okay. Tian took the resumes and exited the conference room with Zhang Hao. Although these were the interview questions from the flower company, I still felt a bit uneasy while Gao Yuan was still rambling. Just then, the conference room door was pushed open again. Hey, what are you doing? Our interviews are over, and you're not on the list. You can't come in here. As he spoke, he began to push out a somewhat balding young man. Yes, you read that right. A balding young man. Chapter 24. Taking shape. How could a frail girl withstand a healthy adult male? What are you afraid of? I just want to see the boss. Who knows, we might be colleagues in the future? The slightly balding man said as he swiftly entered the conference room. Xiaoma, you don't need to worry, let him in, Dongfang said, somewhat surprised, but he was curious to hear what this man was there for. The signs of baldness were already apparent, but a man's talent far exceeds his appearance. Zhu Jian was originally an outstanding student from the computer science department of Huaqing University. His biggest dream was to develop a PC operating system of his own country, and after graduation, he worked for a company doing just that, achieving good results. However, with his mother aging and his father having passed away early due to illness, Zhu Jian resolutely resigned from his job to return home to ensure her a comfortable life. Why is a small city with very few information technology companies? Apart from the newly established Dihuan Company, there were none. Sigh, heroes have no place to showcase their talents. Therefore, to support both of them, he became a proud delivery rider. Today, while delivering food, he happened to see that Dihuan Company was hiring on a large scale, and he overheard applicants discussing salaries starting at 20,000. Excited, he rushed into the conference room. My name is Zhu Jianjun. I'm 30 years old, and I'm mainly engaged in the development of PC operating systems. Having worked at XX Company, he spoke confidently in his delivery uniform, much like during his Master's thesis defense years ago. Zhu Jianjun, right? We don't do operating systems. We're a software company. Gao Yuan's voice trailed off. Dongfang interrupted him. Do you have any breakthrough progress? Yes, we have completed the first step in developing the operating system. Zhu Jianjun's previously slumped posture immediately straightened. The main issue is that our ecosystem is far too different from the W operating system. Oh, is that so? But what can you bring to the company? Rebuilding it again? Not only would it require a huge amount of investment, but it might not even succeed. Especially since you are the only one. Dongfang leaned forward, exuding aggression. Well, I haven't thought that far. I just want to create our own country's operating system, Zhu Jianjun said, putting on his helmet and standing up slightly bowing. Sorry for the interruption. I still have deliveries to make. Goodbye. What's the rush? Didn't I say I don't need you anymore? Dongfang called out to Zhu Jianjun, who was about to leave, truly a bookworm with no social experience at all. He came straight from the ivory tower to the research institute. So pure and adorable. Really? Okay, I'll come to work after delivering the meal. When do we start working on the system? I'm familiar with all the modules. Haha, that's great. Zhu Jianjun was very happy, bouncing a little. Simple people are like this. Their likes and dislikes are written all over their faces, and they act on them. Why are you in such a hurry? The company's current focus is on software development, so the operating system needs to be postponed, Dongfang said, both amused and exasperated. All right, that's fine. Just focus on the operating system. Otherwise, I might as well become a delivery driver. Okay, you go resign first. You have 3 days to do it, and then report to HR at the company. I'll do it this afternoon. 3 days means 3 days. Now hurry up and go. Hey, boss. Watching Zhu Jianjun run out of the meeting room, Dongfang felt a bit emotional. He's talented, but a bit too naive. However, that's exactly the kind of talent the company needs, and he should be cultivated. Zhang Hao still fell a bit short. Dongfang didn't go to his grandmother's house today. Just as he was about to fall asleep on the small bed in the office, he heard Nova's voice in his mind. Sir, there is important news to report. What is it, Nova? I'm about to sleep, Dongfang replied, still a bit dazed. Sir, the first phase of the construction of the secret base has been completed. The basic functional layout has been built according to your plan. Would you like to come and confirm the tasks for the next phase? Oh, that really is important news. Send a shuttle to pick me up. Dongfang got up, dressed, and went out, heading upstairs. The shuttle was already waiting on the rooftop. After settling into the cockpit, Dongfang shot up into the sky, disappearing into the vast night. Sure enough, the underwater secret base was taking shape. Looking down from above, a massive energy shield with a diameter of over 1 kilometer was nestled against the gently sloping seabed like half an eggshell. Entering through the entrance, everything in sight was made of alloy material, roads and buildings alike. However, the style was completely different from that of Blue Star. Each building had a unique shape, mostly oval. Yet each one differed, and the facades were adorned with aesthetically pleasing patterns. Strangely, there were no windows. At the 4 corners of the base stood 8 metal columns, similarly featuring doors but no windows, with slightly menacing cannon mouths reaching into the clouds. It was still a bustling scene, with engineering robots coming and going, their robotic arms either carrying materials or holding equipment. Dongfang even saw a robot hovering in midair, carving something on a building without patterns, sparks flying everywhere, making it hard to look directly at it. Sir, you can take off your helmet. The air here is no different from that on the surface. Nova's voice chimed in his mind at the right moment. After removing the helmet, Dongfang took a deep breath. The air was fresh and smelled like the sea. How did you achieve this? He asked. What, sir? Nova replied. I mean, this oxygen, Nova said playfully. Haha, sir, you're overthinking it. It's the simplest ionization. Our electrodes are not afraid of seawater corrosion. We can obtain oxygen and also hydrogen, which is a clean energy source. Dongfang scratched his head, feeling a bit embarrassed. I overthought it. There's seawater everywhere here. The oxygen obtained through ionization must taste like the ocean. Sir, this is the floor plan. This section is the living area, where the ventilation system, drainage system, and power system have all been installed. This is the research area, where laboratories for biology, mechanics, materials, and electronics technology have been built and are currently installing experimental equipment. This area is for sports. Here is the library, which houses all the written materials of Blue Star and the data from the planetary ship, divided into a physical area and an electronic reading area, where you can immerse yourself in the ocean of knowledge. This is the reserve area for combat personnel, where all humanoid bionic robots are stored, ready at your command. This is the equipment manufacturing area. As Nova introduced each area, their locations lit up in Dongfang's mind, one by one, until all areas were introduced, changing colors for differentiation. Let us go to the library. Science and technology are my favorites, Dongfang said, just as he lifted his left foot. The metal path of the base began to move on its own, similar to an airport escalator. But it felt different. He could hardly feel its movement, only realizing he was moving quickly when he looked up and saw the buildings on either side swiftly passing by, making him aware that he was in fast motion. In no time, Dongfang arrived at the library entrance. He ascended the steps and pushed the door open, revealing a brightly lit hall. Looking up, rows of bookshelves were neatly arranged, like troops awaiting inspection. He picked up a book made of an unknown material, soft, resilient, with clear text. Opening the cover, he read, 3 methods to enhance the mechanical craft of antimatter engines. This is very much like the planetary ring. A book of heavenly knowledge. Sitting down, he lightly touched the desk, and the holographic screen lit up. Catalog of electronic books in collection. Afterward, Dongfang checked the living, reserve, and research areas one by one. The secret base was taking shape. Chapter 25. Urgency, sir. Are you ready to return? But I still have a gift for you. Haha, what gift? You've learned to give gifts now? Dongfang laughed. Recently, I've been deeply studying the culture of a certain country. Reflecting on the importance of the Spring Festival, I realized I didn't give you a red envelope. How thoughtless of me. So, I prepared a gift for you. Ha ha ha. Dongfang chuckled. That's not how social etiquette works. Well, it seems I still need to keep learning. Please follow me to the equipment manufacturing area. In the factory, countless fully automated robotic arms were welding, moving, and waving up and down. Various equipment needed for the base was continuously being assembled and then moved away by engineering robots. At that moment, a sleek, angular silver sports car was pushed out, featuring a distinctive waistline and an elevated rear wing, exuding elegance and sensuality, as if it would dash away in the next instant. Sir, considering your daily usage needs, its appearance resembles that of a famous sports car from a certain blue planet, the Bull. However, it is equipped with a compact nuclear fusion engine, and its exterior is made of liquid memory metal, capable of self-repair. Of course, you need not worry about refueling. Even if you were to drive it to the point of wreckage, it would never run out of energy. I have already recorded the vehicle's information on the official website, and you can drive it normally. Although your driving skills have been recognized, you still need a driver's license. Please, dear viewers, do not drive without a license. It shows disregard for your life and the lives of others. However, you can give it a try underwater, where you won't encounter anyone. Dongfang opened the car door and sat inside. The interior was just as depicted in the online photos. After all, this car is meant to be driven on the blue planet. The difference lies in its power. As soon as Dongfang pressed the accelerator, it began to accelerate continuously. The sensation of speeding was exhilarating. Once outside the protective shield of the base, Dongfang sped away, with the energy shield firmly blocking the seawater, and the car kept gaining speed. In just 5 minutes, Dongfang had covered a distance of 10 nautical miles. 1 nautical mile equals 1,852 kilometers, surrounded by endless seawater, with only a small patch ahead illuminated by the headlights. Perhaps the high speed stirred the water, or maybe the blinding lights annoyed a giant squid. A tentacle, fully 200 meters long, swiftly moved toward the speeding car, covered in countless suction cups that would likely scare anyone with a fear of dense patterns. At that moment, Dongfang couldn't think of much else. He slammed the accelerator down, propelling the sports car like an arrow. The giant squid, realizing this shiny little object was trying to escape, quickly extended its second and third tentacles to block Dongfang's path. The car stopped abruptly, crashing against the suction cups, which held it firmly in place. The tentacles curled tightly, and the energy shield began to flicker ominously. The situation was critical. A layer of cold sweat immediately broke out on Dongfang's forehead. What to do? Nova, Nova, Dongfang called out in his mind. Sir, fortunately, communication remained clear, even underwater. The vehicle has been captured by a giant squid. I am in danger. After 34 seconds, Nova's voice continued. Interstellar battle mechas have been dispatched, arriving in 5 minutes. Please remain calm and put on the assisting mecha. It will ensure your survival underwater. Calm down, I must stay calm. Dongfang gasped for breath, picking up the mecha bag placed in the passenger seat. The sound of transformation filled the air as Dongfang donned the mecha. But the giant squid would not wait. As it continued to curl its tentacles, a loud pop signaled the rupture of the energy shield, and the next moment, the suction cups pressed against the windshield. The sports car emitted a harsh grinding noise, as if it would be crushed in the next second. Without hesitation, Dongfang kicked the car door open and leaped out. The energy shield was functioning normally, and the protagonist managed to escape, gaining a brief but precious moment to catch his breath. At this point, he finally had time to glance at the colossal creature, which was far too large. The headlights of the sports car illuminated only a small part of it. From his vantage point, he could see a mass of tentacles and suckers, coiled together in a chaotic tangle, with only the darkness capable of engulfing a person remaining. Stay calm, he kept repeating to himself, gradually regaining his composure. Once a person calms down, their thoughts return to normal, allowing them to seize fleeting opportunities, thereby increasing their chances of survival. It was now or never. With the help of the thrusters beneath the mech, he stomped down hard on the sports car that had been crushed into a ball by the creature, narrowly escaping through the gaps between the retracting tentacles. Then, aided by the implanted biocomputer, he darted left and right, weaving and jumping, continuously evading the approaching thick tentacles. For minutes later, he spotted the deep blue sea. He was almost free. Just as he thought he was safe, a fourth tentacle came charging at him like a high-speed train, and there was no time left. The thrusters adjusted direction, power surging to 100, with red warnings flashing on the visor, but even that couldn't hide the pallor of his face. With a furious shout, he drew his high-frequency pulse sword and thrust it forward. The extreme heat caused the creature to flinch instinctively, and its speed drastically decreased, allowing him to brush past the massive tentacle. As the saying goes, in a narrow escape, the brave prevail, and he had won his gamble. Immediately afterward, a mech towering over 100 meters appeared before him. With a gentle grasp, he was lifted into the giant mechanical hand, and then released, sliding into the cockpit of the mech's head along the emergency passage. Sir, you are safe now. Leave the rest to me. Hearing this, he slumped down in the driver's seat. The camera zoomed out, revealing both sides in a holographic image from a godlike perspective. The gigantic creature stood 100 meters tall, with 12 thick tentacles. The shorter ones measured 200 meters, while the longer ones could reach up to 400 meters. A pair of round, black eyes looked somewhat cute on the screen, but he certainly did not agree. 1 minute, 2 minutes passed, and the creature's animal instincts overpowered its rationality. It was extremely annoyed by this blinding light. A month ago, it had already kept its distance from that massive, glowing whale. So why was this light now flashing before its eyes? It wanted to crush them all to bits, just like that glowing little fish, which was actually an all-terrain sports car. Hey, are you out of your mind? How can an octopus recognize this? Just watch, I'll wrap you up. 3 tentacles extended from above, below, and the middle, the protagonist. Do you really think you can do that? You think you understand strategy? The creature, what do you care? Towards the mech. The massive high-frequency pulse sword ignited, and the mech swung its sword. Chapter 26. Pa? Like a hot knife through butter, the mech felt no resistance at all, and the 3 thick tentacles fell to the seabed simultaneously. Blue blood gushed out, dyeing the nearby seawater deep blue. In excruciating pain, the biological instincts of the octopus king were suppressed. Its round eyes blinked rapidly, and as it turned its head, a massive amount of seawater was expelled, shooting out like a jet plane. It was escaping. Along with it, large clouds of black ink were released. You can't see me. Chase it. I want it to be physically destroyed, shouted Dongfang from the cockpit. The huge boosters extended behind, and the Star-class mech quickly caught up, taking just one step to reach the Octopus King, which was desperately fleeing in the black mist. The giant high-frequency pulse sword slashed through, cleaving the Octopus King in half, with a torrent of seawater and blue blood pouring out from its split body. Yet, in its eyes, there seemed to linger a sense of triumph at having escaped. It had thought it was safe, just like countless times before. Why was this time different? The Octopus King was done for. Haha, where do you think you're running? No matter how cunning you are, you still have to sit down for me. Dongfang was overjoyed, having narrowly escaped with his life, yet still wanting to slip away. Nova, bring this octopus back. Soon we'll have grilled squid. Sir, that's fine, but I still need part of its body for research. There will be enough left for you to eat. Thus, a giant interstellar mech dragging an octopus twice its size through the seabed appeared before them. On the way back, Dongfang, now completely calm, was drawn to the cockpit of the mech. The cockpit was about 20 square meters, circular with a dome, and there was a lone seat in the center, nothing else. At eye level, a floating, circular holographic screen displayed the image of the mech and the Octopus King. Unable to contain his curiosity, Dongfang wondered how this was driven. There was nothing, just a seat to watch the show. He stood up and walked around the cockpit. Finding nothing, walking back to the seat, he looked up and down, but still saw nothing unusual. Only beneath the right armrest of the seat was a button glowing with a faint green light, precisely where one would naturally press with their thumb while gripping the armrest. So, Dongfang grabbed it and gently pressed down, entering driving mode. The seat behind him lifted about 50 centimeters, and a liquid sensation enveloped Dongfang's entire body, completely encasing him as a visor descended. The cockpit's dome and metal walls became transparent. A tactile sensation appeared beneath his feet, and his hands felt heavy. Completely unlike standing in midair, Dongfang lifted his leg and realized he couldn't control his body. A sharp pain shot through his mind, as if something had grabbed his right arm, and then the seabed rushed towards him quickly, mud and sand scattering before settling slowly. The interstellar mech lay awkwardly on the seabed, its right hand still gripping a thick tentacle. Unbeknownst to him, Dongfang had conducted his first interstellar mech drive. Driver detected.